everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Long Coat Mafia Podcast. It is I, the Reverend Godfather, the show's main host and front man, and today I have with me the one, the only, from parts somewhere, Big Candy.
What up? I'm not on Skype.
Ain't that a first? We are back in our, not only welcome to the episode, welcome to our first episode of the new year. We are back in our usual haunt at the Daily Grind in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
It's haunted?
What, haunt?
Well,
it could be.
Oh.
Ooh, spooky.
Spooky coffee.
I know a lot of you are like, oh, thank God, there's finally a host for all these freaking panel episodes. Thank freaking God.
But that was a good Barracon. I mean, but it was more interesting if you were there.
Yeah, we had a good time at that.
Hope they do it again.
Now we're about, even though we're recording this in December, I know you hate all the time travel lingo.
It's next year, but it's not.
I am still kind of salty over October. This is not against Matt in any way, shape, or form. I'm still kind of salty over the October's 4th date.
Yes.
I'm still, because this is not anything
bitter
against Big Candy or Matt. It's just that I think both of us during that time were going through a lot of crap.
You don't say.
Without going into too much detail, we were both in. It's like I was thinking more so of Big Candy. He was trying to think of him, and the missus were trying to think of me, and it was one person in particular that kind of made the saltiness kind of work. Even though we got a lot of great content, special thanks to Captain Decapitate and Miss Monique Dupree. And
Can I just say,
go ahead.
You said that the Eddie Deason interview wasn't that good. I thought it was great. I know you didn't like it. Maybe you got a vibe when you were there with him.
Right.
But listening to it, I thought it was a great interview. I thought it was good. I thought you handled it well. You said he was kind of standoffish on some answers, like yes and no. I don't think so. I think he went in depth pretty good.
It just seemed like that at the time.
And probably did. You probably weren't thinking about it. Like, if you go back and listen to it, and I don't know if you have, but if you go back and listen to it, I think you might change your mind. But the Ken Hunt was awesome. The Ken Hunt was amazing, and what was the other one that was really good?
Which one? Was it a panel or an interview?
Interview.
Was it the Jesse Green Captain?
Well, he's always good.
Was it the Monique Dupree?
Yes. The original Gata.
The original Gata.
She was great.
And I tell a lot of people, especially with that, it's like how she owned up to being like the first African-American screen queen. Yeah. Because nobody else wanted to step up to it, so she's like, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? and it's just like, especially when as folks at home listening, I do have roughly 3 basic rules for the show, and we kind of went into this in our panel episode, our Podcast 101 episode. Is that first one is language is not an issue for the most part. I mean, if my guests want to curse up a storm, they're allowed to. The only thing, for the most part, I do not allow, I want to say 99.9 repeating % of the time, is no racial slurs. Mm-hmm. And that remaining 0.01 is pretty much if we're doing something educational. Yep. And it has to come up for the sake of education. And if I do that, context will be heavily implied and on both sides, so that way there's no understanding. And our second rule is pretty much the drama/NDA rule, which is non-disclosure rule, which means if I bring up something that my guest doesn't want to talk about, or I accidentally bring something up that they don't want to talk about, I tell them, let me know on air as we're recording. That way we could smooth things over. Or if they're an actress or an actor and they can't talk about a project they're working on other than that they are a part of it, to let me know so I don't poke and prod them about it. Yeah. And our third rule is pretty much have fun. And especially when I brought up the whole language, she understood that. Oh yeah. And so, she was fun to speak with, and Monique is a very strong person overall. She has that vibe that she is she's not putting on an act.
No.
I want to say that she's not, and she comes off. She's very fun and
very strong, very
she's
confident,
very strong, and she can be very fun.
Yeah.
Almost the best. Almost an analog would be the missus. That she could come off very strong, very independent, and in the next instant, hey, how you doing, honey? You know, it's like I don't want to say night and day. It was just very fun, joking, and everything else.
Yeah.
And one of her live streams was her, joking with Reese's Pieces cup with a person that she was with at the table, and it was just funny. It's like, it's like she could be as serious as she is, funny.
Yeah, and her Storm cosplay is top notch.
Dude. Because we haven't really had Big Candy in the studio, technically for the past several months, best to catch up with you first before we go into what. I mean, you don't have to go again. You don't have to go into detail what the fuck,
Yeah.
Just that a lot of deep shit, but.
Yeah. Where do I start? No, everything's fine. I'm actually, get this one, folks. I'm happy at my job.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm content.
Folks, the pool starts at $5 to see how long he lasts before it becomes better again.
Yeah. No, actually, this is a good one.
Please send all donations to GoFundMe /
I literally the other day I didn't have anything to do, so I left work and went to Target for about 3 hours, and I came back. Not kidding. And nobody knew I was gone. Nobody cared. If I told them, they'd be like, "Oh, okay. Did you pick me up anything?" It's like that.
So other than the fun-loving job, anything new you get yourself into?
Been painting a lot, unsuccessfully. I did a lot of holiday work. People were interested, but nobody bought. But I like doing it. Been playing with the little kid at his birthday. Oh, did an interesting thing for his birthday. So, Walmart. Yeah, I'm going to mention them by name. It's a licensing issue, I guess.
Yeah, the store that rhymes with Kmart.
So, the licensing issue came because I wanted to get him a cake for his birthday. And the cake was going to have Bendy, of Bendy and the Ink Machine. Some of you may know who that is, on the top. And I didn't get a phone call, not a text, nothing. And the day I went to go pick it up, I pick up a cake with nothing on it. A black cake with nothing on it. Because it was black, because Bendy and the Ink Machine is all black or white. Or tan and white, whatever you want to say. It's like old-timey looking. So I asked the lady, I said, what gives? I told you I wanted a Bendy cake. Well, sir, we tried calling you. No, they didn't. It's a licensed character. Okay. You couldn't just draw something that resembled Bendy on the top? No, sir. It's literally like a little face. Like, pretty, like, it doesn't look like anything in particular. You could have made it look like anything, like just sort of like it. No. Okay, thanks. I'm not paying for this, but I'll take the cake. Well, sir, no. Let me talk to your manager. Took the cake. Got it free. So I had to go over in the department where they have all the cake decorating stuff. I've never decorated a cake in my life. I go get black and white, and I go home, take a deep breath, and try to decorate a cake. Now, anybody who's ever decorated a cake before or watched the show Nailed It, you can imagine what I was going through. Because decorating a cake is not easy, even for somebody who's artistically inclined, because that gel icing or the icing or whatever you're messing with likes to just go wherever it wants to, not like writing with a pencil. So I did it, and it looked okay, but it wasn't like the greatest thing in the world. Now, here's where it gets funny. So, because I'm not a decorator, a cake decorator, I think I used too much black on the top. And when I got there, it looked great. The kids were like, "Yay, cake!" They all ate it. Everybody's tongue turned black, and their lips turned black. And 2 days later, all their poop was blue and green. Because I think it was like blue based.
Right.
So it led to some interesting results afterwards.
Now, the correlation with that, I think I told you the story. I was at Walmart, the one right here.
Yeah.
This was a good many years ago. Someone brought in their memory card.
Yeah.
They have photos printed off of it. And the machine wouldn't print anything off that card.
Huh.
And the reason was, this is before they have the new machines now,
right?
Like the self-service. And the machine kept saying, these images are copyrighted. And
they were personal photos?
She was a professional. She just wanted.
Okay.
And the tech came over, she said, these photos are licensed. And the person looked at her, yeah, by me.
Yeah.
She said, but we can't print them out with authorization. Guess what? I'm giving you authorization.
Yeah.
She said, but we can't. Listen, my camera, my card, which has my name in it, the watermark on these photos is my watermark. See? Print them out. No, we can't do that.
Yeah. That's about right.
And she was like, I'm giving you permission.
They're dumb. That's all I can say.
Right.
It blew me on my mind, like how like a character like Bendy, like it's a licensed character, I suppose. You couldn't just hand draw a little. No one's asking you to like print something on there. No one's asking you to put official like, hey, this is Bendy. Just do your own thing.
Right.
That's like
something equivalent.
And then I got to thinking, I really need to like trademark stick figures because
right.
It's my newest get rich theme.
But with us, at least myself, over the past couple of months, I know it's one of the main reasons why I love the pen. I know all of you out there probably were, the numbers show it. Sick and tired of the panels, and
yeah, well, I like them.
But for us, with everything that we were going through behind the scenes, they were perfect.
Yeah,
because it allowed us to.
It worked out really well.
It worked out very well, and again, I know one of the things that, again, we were kind of salty about. It kind of leads into what's been happening over the past month. Normally, I get a lot of funds in through where I work, my 9 to 5. The past few weeks, my cash, I haven't been working that many hours. And so, therefore, it's one of the things I brought up to Buchanan. It's like, I might not be doing, I'll if anything, I'll go as a ticket holder like I did earlier this year / last year. But I won't have a table. I won't. Mainly because, one, it's fundage. I was thinking that I was going to be doing like 40-plus hours up until now anyway. Wow. And part of that was going to go towards probably having a table as a base of operations. And it looks like that's not going to happen. So I'm not really worried about it. But what we did get was the new laptop and the cameras, which we'll get into in a moment. But it's that whole aspect of, you know what, I was salty last year. I'll see if I can get interviews if we go next year. But all in all,
but
I'm
did you talk to anybody about that media pass that we had talked about?
I have to see. I'll have to see.
For the listeners, what we had talked about with one of the organizers who's no longer an organizer. Is he involved, or is he just until he stepped out?
I think he fully stepped down.
Okay. We had talked to Matt Burns about, and this is something you and I had talked about on the show before and behind the scenes too, is why don't these conventions have a media pass that you can buy that would grant you access to interviews guaranteed? So you're not just there like bumbling around trying to like schedule things with these people's people and their relations department and stuff, that you're actually like gets time set aside to go in a room and talk to people, and you've paid for that opportunity, whether it be more than a ticket or whatever. But you're not, in other words, you're not just another person getting a ticket to go to these shows with a media pass, getting in for free, and essentially that they don't like that anyway. They're we don't want people getting in for free. Well, then sell me a media ticket, and that's what we've been discussing. Something along those lines, to where we could purchase time to be there and purchase time with interview guests, which I think is a great idea.
Just in essence, what would be a VIP pass with media perks,
right?
That way, both sides kind of went out,
right?
Or without getting called out, like what we happened to us this past October, or at least to me, anyway.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
Which was what was he? If the aspect, not naming names, the person in question listened to our coverage of 4-State in regards to it, because that's where I name names. I'm not naming names again. Pretty much, we were promised an interview. He didn't mention anything about a cost, and that's why I was still at that point skeptical of. We were both skeptical in the first place. We weren't expecting to go for day 2 at 4-State, and
that was the whole reason why we came back.
Though it turned out for the best.
It did.
I didn't want, because everything that was happening behind the scenes, I didn't want to put Big Candy in that spot or, anything like that. But come to find out, in essence, in a way, he never told us, $10. And the only thing I had left in my pocket, other than to get lunch for that day, was food money for the week.
And
he was like, I want $10 for the interview. That's food money. I don't care. Give me,
Well, here's the thing. This is the other thing. And I am going to name names. Eric Roberts. What's $10 to Eric Roberts?
Yeah, considering he, according to other sources, he was getting paid $1,500
that day.
Not just for that day.
No, well, that day to do the thing the next day.
Yeah, he was getting paid $1,500 to do in essence, a cameo role.
Yeah.
For an independent film. Plus, he was
cameo. Hell, it's essentially a walk-on.
Yeah.
In a low budget movie. $1,500. He probably got more money than the entire thing's probably cost.
Right.
So.
Plus, his average day rate.
Yeah.
Is $25,000.
Yeah. Now, great. This is if you know who this person is, if you know who Eric Roberts is, big movie person. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's not like the greatest actor in the world, but he's been in a lot of movies. That's one of his things. He's been in a lot of movies. But what's $10 to Eric Roberts to do a little 5-minute interview with a podcast? Are you serious right now? I mean, you don't get much more ridiculous than that.
It wasn't like.
And the thing is, even if I had the $10, I wouldn't have done it on principle. That's just me. I don't know about you, but me, I would have been like, I'm not giving you $10.
And the thing is, 5-1. You probably back me up on this. If Crystal was with us and she saw me, because I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was legitimately pissed. I'm sure you were a little bit as well.
Yes.
If Crystal was there and she heard, if she was there the previous night, and she heard, and I came back to the table and said, "Oh crap, man! He just tried to charge me $10 after last night, and he just called me out for not having the $10.
Yeah.
And the money I did have was food money for the week. She would have went over there." With the whole mindset of fuck his celebrity status, she would have chewed him out.
She would have
in front of everybody.
Yeah, no, she and because she's a big movie buff, my wife, she was severely disappointed by that news. When I told her everything, she was really let down because she's followed Eric Roberts' career, for a long time. Probably won't watch another movie with him in it.
And the thing is,
and she worked on a movie that technically he's in.
And the thing is, she was part of the conversation in regards to that night.
Yeah.
And she heard me flat out say, if things are down, I don't want, me stating that I know what y'all are going through.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to do this because of me.
The biggest thing.
No, it's just that aspect. It's like I was thinking of. She heard me say out loud that I was thinking about you guys. I wasn't being that self-centered, narcissistic.
Right.
Asshole.
Yeah, and that's why we called her because to me, she knows how important the show is to you. Even if if it's one interview, it could be something that would propel the show forward, and she knows that's important to you. So that's why she said yeah. Because normally, I mean, listeners don't really need to know all this, but we have a 6-year-old at home, right. And that's our primary focus in life right now is making sure he's okay, everything's fine, and our living situation is not entirely the best thing right now. But that being said, she considers you family,
right? So
when she made that decision, okay, we want you to do what you need to do. That's why I came back day 2.
Yeah,
and then
it's like
Mr. Roberts
was thinking of you.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want you to put yourselves up because of the little one or anything else. So,
but then when he did that was a slap in the face to all of us.
Granted, us going back day 2, we got the Monique.
Exactly,
Monique Dupree. We got I think Monique was day 1.
I know who was day 2. Eddie Deason was
Jesse, Green, and Ken Hunt. Plus, we got the extra panels.
Great interview with Ken Hunt, by the way.
And
ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know the ins and outs of being a professional comic book artist from one of the nicest comic book artists that I've ever met personally.
The greatest thing about that is that with that interview, granted off record, he would go into the controversies and the drama, everything that's going on.
Yeah.
On record, he kept everything neutral.
Yeah, if you want to hear the dirt, go talk to him personally.
Right.
Stories that I will not relay on here because he probably wouldn't want us to relay them that he said this. But if you want to know the dirt, go talk to Mr. Ken Hunt.
Right. And that's the thing. He's a very wonderful interviewer. Very, he'll talk your ear off, and you can talk his ear off too. But that was the great thing about that. We got. Especially talking to Jesse Green.
Yeah, dude.
Him being like 60 some odd years old.
Dude.
And him wrestling.
He's a pimp. If ever there was somebody who wanted to claim pimp status, Jesse Green is a pimp. Captain Mango is a pimp.
He didn't get the TNA gig, but he said, I got a whole mess of connections out of it.
Exactly, and that's half of what that's for. It's just like going to convention. It's like you're gonna pick up this. He's also a movie producer. Movie producer now.
Right.
He's also what else? He's like a wrestling manager, celebrity. He's in the movies. How many movies did he make last year? Like 3. He's doing more this year.
And he's having a good old time. God bless him, man.
For sure. And he's always in Key West, Florida. Did you see the videos from today?
No, I have to.
He's waking up, pictures of the beach, pictures of the ocean, sunrise over Key West, drinks before like 10 o'clock. I'm like. And he's always posing with some like super hot girl. It's like, dude, I want to be your penis for a day.
And as we said, we got a bunch of stuff for the show. The extra funds that we got in went towards the larger bulk of it went towards the show. As a lot of you know who have been listening for a long time, the regular laptop we were using went belly up. Literally, it went belly up. And thanks to, again, you heard me say it many times. Thank you, Big Candy,
You're welcome.
His family for giving us, loaning the show his spare laptop or their spare laptop, depending on. I want to include the missus on this for the time being. That way, we were able to edit shows and get them out on time for all of you. But we picked up. I was trying to gun for a $600, $700 laptop. But when I saw a pretty decent, which what we're using now, a Hewlett Packard laptop, which is roughly a mid-range laptop.
Yeah,
it's still way better than what we had, or at least started out with in regards to the show. And as it progressed, it's way better because it works. Right. Not knocking the loaner laptop that we had, but. it allowed us to get a few extra things personally, like a year card for Xbox Live. That being said, we did pick up. We'll talk about a little bit about Red Dead Redemption 2 in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it allowed us to get the year card for Xbox Live membership, and hopefully with the show's account, we will be streaming on Mixer.com, which is Microsoft's answer to Twitch. So that hopefully, if I'll remember to do it. It's either going to be Xbox, Red Dead Redemption 2 or Borderlands 2 or the prequel.
Yeah.
Because, why are you picking on Borderlands 2 and the prequel? Well, with the new account, I could always get keys because under my regular Xbox Live gamer tag, once you turn in for those key codes, now that you have the Handsome Jack collection, you can't redo those keys.
Oh.
For some strange reason, I think that's the major aspect. It's like, okay, here's keys. But I turned in those keys for the original X360 title. They're not working now.
Right.
You should allow us to get those keys again for the new game if we want to play through again.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, we have to regain we're able to regain the achievements for it, or trophies if you're playing on the PS4. So we're not be able to regain the keys. Nope. It's the same account that you use for the shift codes. Okay. That's stupid.
Right.
But under my the show's account, Xbox Live for Xbox Live, I'm able to. Those codes haven't been redeemed yet. For me.
Okay.
So because it's a different email.
Right.
Yes, I'm using air quotes for. But still, I'm able to at least use Borderlands 2 for the Handsome Jack collection. So, and if I get enough people who have that game as well, maybe we could all hop in and just do, like with Red Dead Redemption 2, just hop on as a posse, stream and have a few laughs or something like that. But another thing that we managed to pick up is that one of my plans for this past holiday season, because of when this is posted, it was hopefully pick up a PS4 as a pawn shop find. Some of you out there know what I'm talking about in regards to a pawn shop find. And I'll describe that in a moment. It's just that we have right now that I know of in the Martinsburg area 3 pawn shops within range of where I'm at.
Right.
Starting from close to our recording studio, there's I don't know what it's called, but it's a pawn shop near Daily Grind. I've been in there.
Is there one over there?
Yeah, there's one nearby. It's by the Dairy Queen on this end of town.
Oh, okay.
And it's really tiny. It's not. I've been in there a couple times. It just doesn't come. It's a pawn shop that doesn't come off as.
You need to come to Winchester.
Yeah, sure.
Go to
different type of stuff.
Go to Bears.
And you have
Bears is like major. Like Bears is like the closest thing to Pawn Stars. It's like no, I'm not kidding. Like if you go in there, you're like whoa, and all their movies are $2.
And the other one, if you're moving closer north end of town, there's one that's called Fraser's. Now, for some of you out there, that name might ring a bell. Fraser's Pawn Shop. If you all out there many years ago loved watching the show Gypsy Women or Gypsy Sisters, that show was filmed here in West by God, Virginia, in Martinsburg. It turns out those gals lived here in town, and some of their relatives sold stolen stuff at that pawn shop. And that, granted, a lot of people who steal stuff sell stuff at pawn shops, but Fraser's is the most well-known amongst at least the 3 here in town.
People. What?
Because when my lawnmower got stolen many years ago, guess where I found it? Fraser's.
No, not really.
So, they're a bigger pawn shop. They do sell. I think the one here on this side is licensed to do weapons, but they have a bigger weapon selection or sporting goods section, if you want to call it that.
Sporting goods.
But they do sell movies for like $2, like 5 for 10 or something like that, or whatever. They do have deals. But there, you walk in, it's like, yeah, whatever. Can we help you? Are you got any of this? Well,
They're just looking for $1.
and it's like yeah, whatever. Like you being in there, you're doing them a favor.
Unless it's one of those things where you come across these guys like in a lot of fields, like where people buy and sell. Unless you're coming in with like basically a suitcase full of gold, they don't care.
Or a suitcase full of cash.
Yeah.
Now the one that's closer to the main post office here in town, that one's called Paradise Pawn. That's where I go pretty much verbatim. It's like, do you want to go to one pawn shop here? No. By the Walmart? No. Do you want to go to Fraser's? No. Take me to Paradise, the furthest one out.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's an average sized pawn shop. Yeah, they sell a little bit of everything. They do have a small sporting goods section, if you want to call it that.
Right.
But they're more friendly.
Right.
They might not come off as that a lot of times, but it's more like, hey, how you doing? What can I do for you today?
Right.
And when I walked in there, it was one of the first places I thought of when I was thinking of getting a pawn shop find PS4. Right. And the one that they had was like $250, but it came with the VR goggles. And I was like, I don't really need. That's not. No. When I picked up my Xbox One several years ago, it was at that pawn shop, but it was the Assassin's Creed edition, which came with 2 extra games and the base system.
How much was that?
That was $300.
Okay.
And the cards were not scratched off.
Oh.
So it was a great deal all around.
Yeah.
And considering that when it came out, it was close to $400
so,
anyway. But
like, okay, while we're on the subject, what's a buyer's guide for getting stuff at a pawn shop rather than buying it new from, say, Walmart or somewhere?
Know your prices.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're saying $300. I'm like,
if like, let's take the Hewlett Packard laptop I just picked up.
Right.
If you could get it at Walmart for $400,
yeah,
and they're selling it for $350,
yeah,
get it at fucking Walmart.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So what's the difference, like buying a pawn shop PS4 or buying it like a good deal? Like, because I've seen them at Walmart for cheaper. Like, you know, they'll have a special or something.
Right, and it's like you can get them like a PS4 or an Xbox One for $300.
Right.
If you walk into a pawn shop and they're selling theirs for $300, say fuck it, you know, go to Walmart, whatever store.
What's a good deal then? How much?
I'd say if they're selling it for
like a bare bones, nothing really.
Bare bones. I'd say pay no more than $200 for it, especially if the new ones are costing $300.
Yeah.
And it has to be in almost pristine condition.
Yeah, for sure.
Even then, I'd say go to, if you have a retro gaming store here in
Back to the Media. They just opened up in Winchester again.
Or like here in Martinsburg, they have Panhandle Games.
Oh, yeah.
Check with them first to see what their deals are, because they might have a more reasonable price, or meaning you might pay $250 at a place like Back to the Media or Panhandle Games, but it might actually be a refurbished system, and
True.
you know, it might not be a quote unquote GameStop refurbished,
right,
but it'll be clean, it'll be verified working. Plus, they'll probably give you a better deal on a used game than a pawn shop would.
For sure.
They're
always redoing their prices at Back to the Media. When I was in there, he had the wrong prices on a lot of stuff because they were just opening right before Christmas time.
But when I walked into Paradise Pawn, it was soon after I picked up the laptop. I just went northbound. That way I could just put it on layaway. That's the best thing about pawn shops. If you find a good deal, good chance you're able to put it on layaway.
Oh, they have layaway. That's right. I always forget about that.
And the thing is, Fraser's, if you put something on layaway, it's 25% down. And as soon as you like, I want X. Yes, 25% down. I go to Paradise Pawn, 10% down.
Oh, really?
So I'm already saving money.
Oh.
And I was going to pick up anything like the next week anyway, and I was just going in to check, and then they had a brand new, what we consider a pawn shop find, brand new GoPro Hero 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much is that, GoPro? And they're like, oh, it's $200. The Hero 7s are like close to $400.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's about half the cost of a brand new one.
Yeah.
And it's $200 plus tax. Okay, I have $20. Would you take, to hold it so it doesn't get sold, hold it in my name until next week. And they were like, hey, that's no problem. I can do that.
What are their layaway terms usually at places?
I think it's usually they would like you to pay on it at least weekly.
Is it like 30 days or something?
It's like 90 days. I had until like February to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up way before that. And he's like, but you have time to pick it up. And it turns out when I picked up the next week, because I had the money for it, they had sitting in the case a Sony. It was pretty much what you get at Walmart. It's a Sony H300 or DHC H300,
right?
Which is a 20 megapixel camera. It's as close to being a professional camera while still being non-professional, which means you can't really change the lenses. $69 in tax.
Not bad.
$60, or if you want to go low end, $60. If you went to Walmart, they're about $180.
Yeah, something like that.
About the only thing that was missing was the dial on it, the mode dial. Folks at home, if you look at the camera, there's like a dial on the top end which has auto, custom auto, panorama. That was missing. If I went to Newegg right now, that's a $40. The dial alone is $40.
Yeah, it is. And I wouldn't even worry about it, honestly. And I told you, you're not going to be doing anything shooting beyond basic stuff.
Right.
I mean, those cameras, even though they have a high pixel rate and all that stuff like that, they're basically point and shoots.
Right.
I mean, you can do the mode stuff with it, but like you said, there's like a high speed mode and like a movie panorama. You're not going to use
those
that stuff.
Those are for ultra customization.
And you're not going to use any of that stuff. Like the panorama mode, they suck. It's like, because what are you going to do with it?
Now, I might mention that Martinsburg did have a fourth pawn shop. Mm-hmm. It was right in the downtown area. Right, in essence, it would have been like right next to Habaneros. But when they remodeled their inside, the storefront, the people who owned that building said, "Oh, you remodeled it. Looks so nice. We're doubling your rent."
Yeah, they do that.
And they were like, we can't do that. It's better for us to move out. I was like, really? I didn't have to go too far, and I was getting great movies and great deals. I'm like, son of a bitch.
That sounds about right.
Because there is welcome to Martinsburg.
Yeah,
anyway.
There's nothing in Martinsburg. That's why.
But overall, like I said, for $300, in essence, $300 if you want to go round up.
Yeah.
We got a decent GoPro, and we got a decent camera.
On a laptop.
And I'm excluding kind of laptop. I'm just going camera-wise.
Yeah.
For the price of a brand new GoPro.
So that's not bad.
So I'm not worried about that. And granted, I would have liked some extra stuff. I would have liked to, had extra money for a banner stand. But
those are $30 on Amazon.
I'm saying I could do that later. Yeah. And memory cards are later.
Yeah.
Now, I want to tell you, some of you might know, I don't think I put it on the show's Twitter or Facebook, but where I live, there was a drone stuck in one of my trees.
Oh, did you get it?
Here's the weird shit. On Christmas Day, folks at home who've been listening a while know that I'm friends with Lloyd, a.k.a. we call him Bob. Bob. It's an old joke, which we'll probably explain at some other point. But he invited me for a Christmas Day dinner and basic gifts. Like, he knows I go through shoes like a motherfucker. So it's one of the gifts that he got me was like shoes and stuff like that. And I come home. It's about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I see a multicolored blinking light in one of my trees. And I think it's off in the distance. I'm like, my first thought was, it was a combination of one of those instances like, oh, fuck, something stuck in the tree. And at the same point, it was like, there's a UFO hovering here over Martinsburg. Shit, what? Do I have a camera on me? And I get closer, it was actually something stuck in one of the branches higher up in the tree.
Yeah.
And I try to get a close look to it and shine lights on it. Even my brand new Sony fucking camera couldn't really zoom in on it and focus in to what it was. And I was like, son of a bitch, I can't get anything clear on this. But when you shone a light on it through like the cell phone or anything like that, it looked like a very small drone, like like maybe an 8-inch drone.
Yeah.
and it was just flashing all these like blues and greens and reds and all. I'm like, son of a bitch, there's a drone stuck in my tree. And I tried to shake it out. It was stuck good on those upper branches. I was like, son of a bitch, I can't shake it out. And if I shake really hard, and I looked up and I'm shaking, it's like, wait a minute, I think that's the power line right there. If I shake too hard, I'm going to wear out that fucking power line. Son of a fuck. I'm going to wait until morning.
Yeah.
And I know my neighbor has been kind of remodeling right now, even though both of our houses are way back from the street and behind other houses.
Yeah.
He's been kind of remodeling his, and he has some scrap wood. And I figured I'll wait until morning, see if I could borrow one of the scrap pieces of 2x4s that he has out in the back, and then knock it down.
Yeah.
And before I wandered to work, this was what would be Wednesday morning.
Right.
I get up at 9 a.m. I leave the house at 10. As soon as I walk outside, it's gone. Literally. And everything was on the ground. There's no new tire tracks on my place is pretty much right now, 3 months of damn rain, pretty much mud. And it was like all loose mud and all that. I'm like, there's no new tracks down here. No one came and knocked that. I shook that tree like I'm a fat guy shaking a vending machine, and it wouldn't budge. Now it's gone.
You encountered little tiny aliens.
Maybe it was. And the thing is, your missus was like, well, what if the batteries are dead? I went out at 10 o'clock. As of 10 o'clock or 10:30, that thing was not working anymore, but it was still stuck in the goddamn tree. So within 12 hours, it was gone.
That's funny.
So that was like the mysterious drone stuck in the tree. It's like, it would have been something else to wake up the next morning, shake it, get it, catch it, and tell everybody, guess what? I caught a drone. Mine now, motherfucker. It's like, guess what? Didn't pay for it. Mine. So,
right?
I mean, it's like I know by 10:30 it was still stuck in the goddamn tree. 12 hours later, gone. Son of a bitch.
Tiny aliens.
Tiny aliens. Contact screens, Secure Team 10. Son of a bitch. But that's the thing. To kind of move on. Where to begin? Who wants to start in all this?
Well, I was going to say, did you want to talk about the show's year kind of?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, because we're doing a year in review sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
Before we get into some of the depressing shit.
Right.
And some of the fun stuff that also happened afterwards, too. So.
I sold something.
What?
I sold a painting.
Cool. And congratulations.
Yeah.
We had, over the past 12 months, we went consecutive without using an Electric Eye episode.
That's amazing.
I mean, that's...
Much love to Electric Eye, though.
Yeah, I know. It's like one of those things. To me, I know you don't think it's a cop-out, but part of me thinks it's a cop-out.
A little bit.
It's like, I got nothing else, and I got nothing to say, so there's here at Electric Eye. But for the past 19 months, 19 months. Going on 20 months. 21 months. I think at the end of January we got 21.
Yeah.
Because we're going from March to March.
Yeah.
March was of 2017 was the last time we used one. And it was that end of March, and it was like, I wonder how far can we go with, at first it was like, okay, we got 6 months without using one. Then it was 9 months. Then it was 11 months. All right, let's see how far we can go. Take this. Now it's 19 months later. It's like 19 months later.
19 months later.
And it's like, son of a bitch. Well, thank you, panel episodes. You helped us go so far without using an Electric Eye episode. And maybe I'll just slip one in on like a bonus episode just to see who the fuck notices. Just a random episode. But what else? Just that I know you folks out there is a year in review. Show-wise, we had something. Even though we ranted earlier this year in regards to, we had Dobbs on the show earlier this year.
Yeah.
We finally did put up the video for his song "Minimum Effort."
I saw that.
I think it was one of those things that when I put it together, overall, the only part of the song that I had in my head pre-planned was with the clowns that were on stilts as the interlude part.
Right.
Other than that, I wasn't planning for any footage to sync up.
Right.
And it just turns out, after I put all that in, other than minimal adjustments, so everything's synced up a little bit better.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, and especially when past that interlude, synced up almost perfectly. Like there's Otacon footage of the person with Audrey 2.
Yeah.
That as he's moving the Audrey 2 puppet, it almost syncs up with like some of the stuff that like as they're releasing the different variants of the Deadpools.
Yeah.
It syncs up. It's small shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just some of the stuff that syncs up.
Yeah.
And as the song progresses, the video almost syncs up to what the song is going on. I'm like, oh, this syncs up. And it's like other than the little interlude, I planned nothing.
That's funny.
And it's like I wanted to go a little bit further, but the song was too short. I had so much footage.
Yeah.
It was like I had
what to pick, you know? Yeah.
It's like what to shorten down and. One of the favorites of the video is when Matt Burns walks by the camera and gives the finger, and it's right when they're going. The song talks about the WTF Deadpool.
Right.
What the go fuck. In essence, it's like, go fuck yourself. And what does Matt Burns do? As he walks by, gives the finger. We're like, oh, you can't sync that up any perfect.
Vintage Matt Burns.
I mean, it's like son of a bitch. I should have tagged Matt Burns in there.
You should have.
It just fits so well. But that's beside the point. The biggest surprise. Now, talk about awesome. By the time this goes up, I'm going to see, why torture myself again? Because for the past 2 fucking years, they turned us down. I'm thinking, you know what? Fuck this, fuck them. Go.
Guerrilla style.
Guerrilla style. Not so much guerrilla style.
Yes.
Fill out the press form saying, you know what? Fuck you guys.
Yep.
They, just go out. Go from hey, we're this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. You know what? Past 2 years, you told us, go fuck ourselves. Go fuck you.
Right?
In their form.
Yeah.
You keep turning little guys, us.
Yeah.
We know why you do it, because you're afraid that we ain't going to do shit. We're going to do shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you. This is what we've done. Otacon let us do it 2 years in a row.
Yep.
You don't want us to do it because we've been bad-mouthing us? We've been bad-mouthing Otacon longer, and they let us for the past 2 years. They literally changed our mind.
Literally.
So go screw yourself. If you don't want it to us, we'll just go continue covering fucking Otacon year in and year out. Just to see what they say.
I still say we cover it anyway.
I might buy a ticket just to cover it on Friday.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Just do it totally like bootleg it.
Just bootleg it.
Just like microphones and be like, we're here at all.
They didn't want to give us a fucking press pass because they think they're better than us. Guess what? This is why they suck.
Yep. We're on the floor at Suckfest. I mean, AwesomeCon.
They say it's AwesomeCon. Let's see how not awesome it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we should do like I mean, it's in our backyard. So literally,
like DC.
Yeah, we need.
I could just
we
call in on that Friday and just say fuck it, just go and buy, get a ticket. Now this is again, folks. This is the same company I went one year because I was having mail issues.
Yeah.
Like I don't mean mail as in gender. I mean postal issues. I don't mean that. I'm digging myself in a fucking hole here. I mean the United States Postal issues with the United States Postal Service in regards to mail getting my packages and stuff getting stolen and not delivered on time.
Right.
I told AwesomeCon I want my ticket will call, which means I'll pick it up there. What do those fuckers do? They sent the ticket.
Yep.
I went in line and said, yeah, I think you guys have a ticket for me. And they were like, what's your name? I gave my name. It's like, yeah, we have a ticket. I said, then why did I receive this in the mail? They went, what? You weren't supposed to receive. Exactly. These are the folks that were not, day one, on that Friday, were not set up yet.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And was it the previous year to that they were They had all those problems with like
Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
That was the same year that happened.
Oh, okay.
That was that same year.
Yeah.
And I told him, it's like, well, and I think we did it in one of our episodes.
I thought they weren't going to come back after
this
that.
This is a 24-hour nation. You could follow someone like Peter Capaldi, Jason Momoa, who played Aquaman. You could follow those celebrities on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They will tell you when they're making an appearance.
But they lied.
Awesome Con launched. They're filming. No, they were at Phoenix Comic Con.
Yep. It makes you wonder if they actually like booked him at all, or just said they were going to be there to get the people.
And
there.
not only that, they oversold his signing tickets too. I mean, severely oversold.
Yeah. And what did they do with refunds?
They did. Peter Capaldi was nice enough to
honor them.
Okay. Yeah. So that was that. But I'm thinking of going that. But the biggest surprise was when we were in the midst of July through August, because we were already set up for Matt's 4-state punk show.
Yeah.
If you're going to that, I wouldn't mind. That I might have fun to sit up there too, because it's an awesome thing. You know,
yeah. He got a new venue, right?
Yeah, he got a new venue. It's somewhere in Pennsylvania, I think it is, or Maryland.
I want to go this time. This
time
I'll be in a better position to go. So
it's one of those things I wouldn't mind. And I think you said the tables were like $25.
Yeah.
So
there's a show tomorrow night he's doing, or he's a part of it somehow that I want to go to, but I probably can't.
But the thing is, it's fun. I wouldn't mind going, but at last year, even though it's the same year, we had that happening in August.
Yeah.
September, and we had 4-state in October. But when everything was about to go down, I get word about the Eastern Panhandle Paracon.
Right.
And I figured, I was hemming and hawing it.
In your backyard, literally.
Literally my backyard. I was like, you know what? It's in my backyard.
Literally.
Let me email them to see. Now, I found out, not because of a Facebook sponsored ad or flyers around town, posters around town. I found out by Zombie Hunt, which was a previous year, 2017. The Zombie Hunt was a kind of a Halloween haunted. It wasn't really a haunted house. What they did was they had the kind of like laser tag guns for zombie hunting. They had it like right in town, one of the old buildings.
Oh, that's awesome.
We covered that too in 2017.
Yeah.
And it was a great setup. And they, on their Facebook page, they said, "Hey, Eastern Panhandle Paracon."
Yeah.
That's how I found out about it.
Right.
Not a Facebook ad, not a radio ad.
And the worst thing is, talking to that lady, or at least listening to her talk to somebody, they were talking about how they didn't understand the turnout because they had advertised. But I didn't hear about it until you said something.
Right.
And it was like, huh? Like, I didn't see any advertising at all.
That's the thing. It's like, that's why I tell a lot of people, it's like, especially when you do Facebook advertising, you can limit it, but people won't see it.
Well, even with the new algorithms, now it's become even more impossible.
And
so I think people need to stop using Facebook as the tool that they wish it was,
right,
and start ignoring it and going back to more traditional ways.
But
because it's just not working.
I emailed them, it's like, but the tables are in essence were like $60,
yeah,
$70. I was like, I don't have that.
Yeah,
I was like, listen, I can't really get a table this year. It's like, as much as I would love to. This was in essence my email to them. It's like, as much as I would really love to get a table and set up, I can't really do that. But as a local podcaster, I would love to cover your show.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. You know, as you told me, it's like, what's the worst thing is tell you no,
right,
but at least you fucking asked.
Right.
It turns out it's like they said, sure, why not?
Bam.
Matter of fact, we'll give you a space. And I was like, okay. And I think I even messaged you. I was like, you're not going to believe this shit. Paragon's just giving me a table for free as long as I cover them for video. And that's why we kind of said in our last panel episode was that it's like we more than what I sold to them was, yeah, we'll take pictures, we'll do like video, we'll do like a live stream, we'll cover it. We'll do. We covered that. We
sure.
Even with the first releasing the first panel, just getting the panels was just an afterthought. Hey, we're here. We got a mic. Shit. Let's record some shit.
Yeah.
Let's see how much leash they'll give us. And sure enough, we got plenty of panels from them. A lot of them good, especially the guy who did the cryptozoology panel.
Yeah.
A lot of that was great. So it was that was the biggest surprise to me. That was the biggest surprise.
Yeah, that was a good. Despite the turnout, I thought it was a good time. I thought that had it been better attended, that I think it would have probably been. I don't know, because it seems like the future of it is not certain. Because I've been checking to see if they're coming back this year. I'm guessing we won't hear anything until.
The thing is,
later in the year, but
I think one of the panels previous, I went to tag them.
Yeah.
Like a Facebook, as a tag. No, I think they deleted everything.
I think they did, yeah.
And I don't think they're going to be doing it because they were talking like they got to rebrand it because in essence no one really showed up.
Right.
And it was one of those I can understand why. It's one of the main arguments I've been arguing with Panhandle, Martinsburg, Main Street Martinsburg folk.
Right.
It's like the reason why a lot of the shit doesn't happen year 2 is because you're not doing things right and no one's showing up.
Right. Yeah. Well, honestly, but it'd be nice for it to come back. I don't know.
It would.
Maybe we could make some phone calls. Talk to Matt Burns. I know it'd be like, Matt Burns, I know you're not into this anymore, but we need you. We need you, Luke Skywalker. I could make a little video and you could play R2-D2 and you could... You're our only hope. I could dress like Princess Leia. Matt Burns.
Put little cinnamon buns.
I could little cinnamon buns. I'd be like, Matt Burns, you're our only hope. Turn it off.
Can we have Caleb do BB-8?
Yeah. Oh, darn.
I'm sure he'd be down with it.
Yeah. Caleb, roll around on the floor and be cute. Aw.
Oh. But we other than that, we had a lot of fun stuff happen this year. Again, we had Dobbs on. We had a lot of stumbling blocks. But
I got to meet Jordan finally.
Yes,
from Heroes of Village.
So like I said, with the stumbling blocks, that was mostly how we recorded our Skype calls, which we've learned how to.
Now we know.
Knowing's half the battle. The other half, bullets.
Lasers
and bullets.
Lasers and bullets.
God bless America.
Butt massage.
See that sexy cosplayer? Thank God bless America. Oh, that's a fun name joke. Did I ever tell you about that?
Yes, you did. By the way, if you like looking at cosplayers or chicks that look like cosplayers, download TikTok.
Right.
Jesus H Christ. It's all it is just
cosplayers doing stuff.
Cutesy little, and they all have fangs.
And the thing is, kind of a friend of the show, John Johnson, he has been rocking TikTok.
Yes.
I liked his post that he put up. It's like, I can't believe I keep arguing with my wife in regards to how many followers we have and views we have on TikTok. If I keep it up, she's going to shit. And the comment underneath that was his wife with a Harley Quinn with a smoking gun gift.
Yep.
And it was so perfect. It's like, he made it so that that's what actually happened, and she just rolled with it.
Yeah.
I was like, bravo.
Yeah, loved the TikTok. It's not, but it's no Vine.
But
I miss Vine.
He's like he's using it to his advantage. I cannot blame him.
So that's one thing of 2018. I think it's one of the new trendy to me. It's apps out there that's nice. Is if you're into that kind of content, I can't make that kind of content.
No, it's just
but for the people that do. They're having a blast with it. So
that's one of the things with the money. It's like I would have loved to support his GoFundMe in reference to Darknet.
Yeah. Oh, what a great idea.
I wish I was able to at least donate the $15. I don't have that right now. Yeah. Sorry, Johnny. We will still continue to give you shout outs and everything else.
We support you in other ways.
Yeah, and it's the reason why he's doing it is because he doesn't. When I picked up. One of the things I picked up at 4th State was the official DVD release of Skeleton Key 3 Part 2.
Right.
It was the official, even though it was what I call bluebacks, it was just a cop. It was the official release. It had no extras. I was thinking that this was just somebody, not blaming Monique, just making copies so she has something to sell at the show.
I understand, yeah.
And sign and sell. So either way, I didn't mind that. I would even say, hey, whatever. And turns out, according to Johnny, the distributor, he had the extras ready to go, including the commentary.
Huh.
They just pretty much went, no, we don't want it.
What?
Yeah. They pretty much said, no, we don't want it.
Wow.
And I was thinking, I have an idea, Johnny, unofficial commentary.
Unofficial commentary! Oh, yeah.
It's like part of me was like, all right, you, me, Lloyd, his DVD player.
It's happening.
This is happening. We'll set up 3 mics.
Coming in 2019.
Now, also speaking in...
I think there's another idea. There's another idea for...
The commentary?
I know we're speaking out loud, but another YouTube channel, unofficial commentaries.
I know this year...
Or a podcast, side podcast.
That I was speaking to, again, another friend. Show us a lot of friends. Don Ramirez.
Right.
He's helped us in the early days of the show with and Earl with like the Chocolate Fest, and we did the little bonus thing with Don in regards to Trailer Trash, a film journal. I was doing the audio journal of a film video journal.
Right.
He said he's going to be doing a kind of like a 30-year history of punk music in the area.
Ooh.
He's going to get, I think he said he was going to get He knows the folks from Snagglepuss, same folks that Matt wanted to for the punk.
Right.
He's going to speak to them. He wants to do like interviews and all that. He's inviting, in essence, me to help audio record it and possibly get other footage for it.
There you go.
As long as we turn everything, our raw form over to him, so he has backups.
Yeah.
And especially the video. I'm like, you know what? If we're a part of it, it's like, Don, if you want to help get me there, I'll be more than happy to do whatever you need. If you want me to record, I'll record. The only thing I might ask is like, if I can make a show out of it, I'll make a show out of it. If there's a Q&A, I'll post the Q&A. This actually is what goes down.
Yeah.
It's part of the show. It's, in essence, you have a lot of folks like Matt, you that are interested in music and, the punk culture.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
For
sure.
It's, and somebody with the legacy of like that band.
Yeah.
That's been around for 30 plus years.
Bam.
Why not?
30 years. Wow.
And the videos, the raw footage, we market it as raw footage on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Blam! We got more stuff for the folks at home other than we're at such and such, Ford State Mud Show. I know you folks out there kind of, even though it's kind of on our metrics, a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people also don't like it.
Right. No, but you're gonna get.
But
that.
it's something.
As long as we'll just give them more variety.
It's more variety. It's not something that we really gunning for funds on. It's something to kind of supplement for all of you folks at home.
Yeah, we're not
that extra stuff that.
We're not getting any money off of YouTube.
Right. I don't think anybody's getting any money off of
they defunded more people, by the way. But we'll talk about that later.
But a lot of we've had a lot of downers before we go into more of review. We had a lot of downers this past. Death has been so fucking busy. Son of a bitch.
Putting in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said we had Stan Lee's passing. God bless, everything that's been happening.
We knew it was going to happen.
It was eventual, but everything over the past year.
Penny Marshall was a super surprise.
Right.
I didn't even.
But, what I think hit a lot of fans was Stan Lee's. And you had, what's his name, come out. You had a lot of people on, that were the SJWs, or as people calling the NPCs.
NPCs?
Non-playable characters.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the folks at home, NPCs, for the people who play role-playing games, NPCs are characters you cannot play as. If you keep speaking to them, they say the same thing over and over and over again.
Hey, that sounds like an SJW.
Right. And I
didn't know they were calling them that.
Yeah, a lot of the people that are in the geek community are calling SCWs NPCs because they say, this is what I think, this is what's actually happening. You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're
a Nazi.
You're this, you're that.
You're horrible.
And
but I'm paying you a compliment. You're a bastard. You're a Nazi. You're a
You're an NPC. You're saying the same shit. You had a lot of these
Should I press A?
Pretty much saying, bashing, he passed, and they're bashing him like, thank God that misogynistic rapist bastard, bigoted bastard is now dead. Well, do you realize what he's done in the past? And the people that claimed he sexually assaulted was doing it because they wanted the fucking money.
Yeah.
They were being paid to do it to get more money back in last year.
I don't want to get on a big rant, but it basically, if the media that they follow says it's true,
right,
they believe it's true. They don't look into facts in other media. They don't look into facts in other cultures or people that actually knew him or things like that. They just know that NPR or
Variety or BuzzFeed
or Vice
has been paid. They want to keep their some people said their white knight card.
They loosely heard at some point that he had done something to a woman who shall remain nameless, or and this is just any person. Right. This is anybody right now, and therefore, take Chris Hardwick for instance. What happened to him?
Right.
Which I think is the biggest travesty, but he bounced back, thank God, because the woman turned out she was lying.
Right. But not so much lying, but if she came out saying X, Y, and Z, and actually needed to prove it, it'd be in his favor. It's like, well, you shouldn't have done that anyway.
Right. And also with the comedian, what was his name? I forget.
I know what you're talking about.
So same thing.
Right.
The outrage came before the facts. The outrage came before proof. The outrage came automatically. These guys are guilty. Right. And it's like I said, but I don't want to get on a rant, but that's the part of the culture that I don't like right now. And they're killing Stan Lee's legacy, or they're attempting to post-mortem. Why?
Right. And the aspect of and you had Bill Maher having to toss in that dickhead 2 cents in. He was like, well, you have all these people. It's like all the people coming up who call paying rent and bills adulting. Look at all these, so forth and so on. The best reply was from Stan Lee's company.
Yeah.
If you've seen that. For the folks at home, fresher, it's like, well, they called it, in essence, frankly disgusting. He said, to say that Stan merely inspired people to watch a movie is, in our opinion, frankly disgusting. He said, in the essence, he said, signed Team Stan. He said, countless of people can attest how Stan inspired them to read, taught them that the world is not made up of absolute. Heroes can have flaws, and so forth and so on. And he was like, and Bill Maher came back even after this, like a week later, saying, "Oh, all this outrage, it proves my point."
Yeah, he's
and
an
people
idiot.
that share the same aisle as Bill are saying, "You're a fucking asshole."
Oh, he is an asshole, and there's
he doesn't care.
Yeah, and because he's wrong, and he can't say I was wrong, because he's so one dimensional. He can't say that he was wrong.
Right, and you had someone like, again, you mentioned Penny Marshall. She was I want to say the original empowered woman.
Yeah.
But she's the one, for the folks at home, she not only played Laverne from the spinoff Laverne and Shirley, but she helped direct movies like League of Their Own, Big, Awakenings. Yep. Just a few big success movies,
heart-filled movies, and from a director's standpoint, very progressive in the way that they were made. Right. I think for the time, because her directing, it was not a whole lot. I forget how many movies, but it was over a large span of time.
Right.
It was only a few movies over a large span of time, but the way she did her directing was visionary, I think.
Right. It was to tell a story.
Yeah.
And it was, you had, like, you hear a lot of you didn't have, like, League of Their Own.
Yeah.
In essence, depending on how you want to look at it, it was about the first, league of women playing baseball.
That story.
It was done by a female director.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have female directors now. Penny fucking Marshall.
Right. There's a lot of female directors. Get the fuck out of here. It's like these people, the people that say stupid shit like that are so out of touch with reality. It blows me away. They act like there's not females in like high positions in the world.
Right.
They act like black people don't exist outside of the ghetto. It's unbelievable. Like how many people that they want to downgrade through their own racism. It's almost like soft racism. Well, you need to stand up for. Hey, again, I'm getting off on this tangent. Don't let me get started. Yeah. We're talking about dead people.
But
when you mention that SJW shit, it just totally pisses me off.
And it's just, and also this time we had SpongeBob creator Steven Hildenberg passing away.
That sucks.
From Lou Gehrig's disease.
ALS.
As much as most people love to dig on SpongeBob, it was the juggernaut of Nickelodeon for the longest time. And it's how we got a lot of the memes like 2 hours later. 2
hours later.
And a lot of these like, I'm ready.
Well, you know what really sucks because like the creator, but at first I thought it was Tom Kenny, and I was like, no, it's Tom Kenny. Don't you dare take Tom Kenny.
But it's just that, here's a great mind. At least he lived longer. Some could say, well, the show died before he did, but he still...
Well, listen, another visionary, because look at the influence of SpongeBob SquarePants. Right. That show came out when? In the early 90s?
It's got to be
to mid-90s? When I was still technically a kid. You know what I mean? I was a young adult. I was probably 15. Now, my son watches SpongeBob. Okay? So that's how it has that kind of life. And the funny thing is, I still laugh a lot of stuff that was on SpongeBob because it's so silly. It's one of those great cartoons
that you could even have as background.
Well, but they slipped in a lot of adult humor, unbeknownst to the kids, and probably unbeknownst to the network. But if you're
that's a lot of cartoons.
If you quote unquote, and I'm air quoting like you on a podcast, get it, and you watch it, they slip in a lot of adult humor,
right?
And it is really funny stuff.
Well, we're gonna pause for a moment because I really have to use the men's room.
Me too. I got pee.
So we'll be right back, and you guys won't notice.
Tingle break. Hey, that's where you could insert the.
And folks, we're back. That's right. It didn't really take long. I hope you like that little bit of an insert that we just got from George Spike Riel. He's been let me put it like this. I have to give him a shout out because that was part of the deal, but still I'd give him a shout out nonetheless because he's done so much for the show for free. A lot of the stuff that he's given to us is pretty much from one of the Facebook groups. He is a very professional. He is a professional radio announcer, and he's since we initially got his stuff way back in early 2017. He's done a lot for free for the show. He's given us variety of different, even though we haven't used all of them, a variety of intros, outros, and especially what you just heard in regards to "We'll Be Right Back." If I remember to put it in, for that matter.
You will.
I will. It was for free. He pretty much did it for free for the show. Part of the deal is we give him a shout out. I gave him a shout out on our podcast 101 panel. Yep. Because why? It's like,
and obviously he listens to the show.
Right. He listens to. He told us. He listened to our little rant about microphone usage. He gave that little content, And when I posted it, I was like, we had a rant in regards to, mic usage. He was like, I just heard the episode, loved the rant. So, that being said, you're right. It was just like, it was a kick. It was like, wait a minute, George, listen to the show.
How validating was that? It was like somebody who's like a professional speaker, he does this for a living, saying you're right.
Right.
Hell yeah.
It was like when we first got that first like from Adam Carolla on Instagram. It was like, wow. But
they like us. They really like us.
Despite being hated, somebody out there likes us.
Somebody.
So we have plenty of stuff that we have from him. That it was just something that we were able to have different change up, and
we are thankful. Thank you.
We are very thank you, and we can't give George, if you're listening, we can't thank you enough. Let me just put it out there, folks. If you're running a podcast and you're new, sign up for the Podcast Discovery Center on Facebook because all of you have missed out on it because he offered for 25 people for free 30 words for an intro or to use for anything. He gave us 2 minutes and change worth of content that we could cut and use to our heart's content.
You told Josh and Jordan?
Yeah, I told Josh. They had for this as of this recording. They haven't. I don't think they've turned it. Went in and got their free.
But they're on PDC, right?
I don't think they've signed up yet, or they will.
I thought he was. I thought he did.
But let me put it like this: when I turned mine in, out of the 25 offered spots available, I was the only one after maybe about 12 hours of this offer being validated.
That's crazy.
The only one. And Podcast Discovery Center has over, or if not over, close to 1,500 members.
Wow.
And I was the only taker from a professional radio announcer.
Right. That's crazy.
I mean, like, dude, I took advantage of it because it's like the reason why I waited so many hours is like, wait a minute, there's 1,500 people on this list, 12 to 1,500 people.
Right. Give somebody a shot. Yeah, because you already have yours. Yeah.
Right. And even if you said, no, we want to give somebody else a shot on it, I wouldn't have been mad.
What does he charge? Like,
I want to say at least $100. It's at least $100 value.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because I mean, the dude don't work for peanuts.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it's more than if he said $200 or $300, I would not be surprised.
It'd be worth it.
Yeah, and still, again, even though it was free, you can't really expect too much.
And for free, it was a good effort.
Right. And
well, I say good effort like it was lousy. No, he did his damn job.
Right.
He's awesome.
For something that was pretty much done at maybe 1 o'clock in the freaking morning.
Right.
It's like I was expecting maybe sometime later today, as of this recording, and me tacking something at the end of the show. Oh, by the way, we wish thanks, Mike Riel, for what he gave the show. But no, it was like a half hour later, I'm laying down and I hear my phone buzz. I'm like, what the hell? And it turns out the email was from Spike. I was like, wait a minute. He couldn't have done that in that quick of a time.
He did.
He did. And I was like, I tried to listen to it on my phone, but my phone has crappy speaker on.
Mine does too.
It's like I pulled up my laptop, turned it on. It was like, holy damn it! Thank you so much. Not worthy.
We're not worthy.
We're not. But
call back to Wayne's World.
It's great. We'll start. If I do additional intros, we have plenty of stuff. It's something that, again, if you said now I want somebody, hasn't had it yet, I would have respectfully. It's like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's why you didn't say anything till late, anyway. So.
It's that. It's like I have deep respect for him. It's like I thank him. I told him, it's like, listen, I can't thank you enough. I can't. That's why, in essence, we gave him 2 shout-outs.
You're a good man, Spike.
But to kind of continue, I know Big Kenny isn't that big of a fan. Even I kind of stepped away this season a little bit. That is, you heard, or at least some of you who've seen it, is that in regards to the current Doctor Who, let me start this by saying, I am not bitching about Jodie Whittaker's performance about the Doctor. I'm not against a female Doctor, period. I'm against, like Big Candy, I'm a strong constituent of good writing and having a good, when I want to see a sci-fi program, I don't want an agenda inserted. I don't want boxes being fucking checked.
You don't want to be hit over the head with a narrative?
Correct. And the thing is, what some of these sites like Variety, BuzzFeed, and the rest of them, like even Screen Rant, have been doing is that they're being, in essence, white knighting and being shills to the BBC.
Yeah.
And because they want to keep those cards or else they'll be labeled like the rest of us fucking geeks like they did with... And in essence, I'm not saying Screen Rant has done it, but other websites are doing it.
Of course.
They're approaching the level of The Last Jedi proportions in regards to... They're coming short of calling every fan that's against this current season of Doctor Who misogynist, bigoted, fucktards.
If you hate it for any reason, it's those reasons.
Right, and you're a white male, despite, everything.
Cis white male.
Cis white male. Despite everybody pointing out.
Worst.
And like some of the websites have saying, well, even one of the articles that came up that even up to this day I've been watching that they've been covering, that they've been putting out, it's like, oh, all the companions were female. All they did was just cheer. Or really, if you want to go back to the past 12 years, Rose Taylor was a gun-toting, strong female freaking companion. The next one that was pretty much after that, who was an African-American female, was a certified doctor. A medical practicing doctor who in upon herself, was a fucking badass.
Don't you love it how they've just completely
and this is
washed away that history? Like before,
you had other companions that were equally badasses that were not just go, doctor, go. They were legitimately badasses, or they were supportive to the plot.
They want you to
Jodie Whittaker was the one that said all they were was cheerleaders. They're not.
They want you to look at television and movies like there's never been strong female characters. There's never been strong ethnic minority characters. There's never been, and it's just not true.
And the thing
it's just not true.
Well, the conspiracy thing, I won't say conspiracy, where a lot of the description lies is that most of when you look at the core fandom of Doctor Who, it's hard because a lot of the folks that are speaking out about this, where the discrepancies lie is it Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall, who is the current forerunner of the show, saying this, or is it the BBC making them say this?
I think it's
because because there's a part of
societal pressure making them say this.
No, it's because the BBC. When you look into it, is that the BBC wants these check marks done.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Some people. When you look at some of the commentators in regards to this, some of the commentators saying it's the BBC that wants these check marks done.
They don't want to lose advertisers. Listen,
for Chibnall.
The whole thing is they're scared of losing advertisers because the advertisers are scared to death of the minority of SJWs out there who are afraid, who are in essence changing society as we know it.
And the thing
because they're making it harder to do anything, because they're threatening violence, because they're saying, "Oh, you're a bad person because X. You're a bad person because this." And it's all things that they're not doing anything different. They're not doing anything that's against women.
Here's the thing. This current season, this current season of Doctor Who has been, if you want to count the instead of the Christmas special, it's the New Year special.
Right.
Which that was, in essence, Chibnall's idea. Yeah. Let's go away from tradition from the past 11 years and do a New Year special instead of Christmas. Because reasons.
Yep.
This was the BBC's decision. Now, previous seasons of Doctor Who have been close to kind of I want to say the American standard of maybe between 22 and 26 episodes.
Right.
This season of Doctor Who, there's been 11 total. 11 episodes.
Yeah.
Now, next year they want roughly the same, if not less, about 6 episodes. Chibnall has gone on record saying, I want less than that. Now, mind you, there have been, in the past, when you look at least Mirror Doctor Who, there have been, when you look at the Tom Baker Doctor and the other ones, they're given to you as a 2-hour block, as a 2-hour quote-unquote movie.
Right.
Those were, in essence, 6-episode seasons, but it was an overall story arc that could have been made into a 2-hour block. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the other ranking favorite sci-fi program, Red Dwarf, which I love, it's a 6-episode season.
Yep.
That's, when you look at it like that, and it's always been 6 episodes.
Right.
So, but when you look at Doctor Who in its current run, seeing that it's 22, 26 episodes, now it's 12. Now next year it's going to be 6, if not less. Oh, you really want this to fail? Who wants it to fail, BBC or Chibnall? Well, it turns out both.
Yeah.
And some of the rumors have come out that Chibnall, as of next season, which comes out in October again, which means they're waiting, in essence, almost a year for the new season to come out, which, when you look at, Walking Dead, how that has hurt them in the past, and shows that wait a year before new episodes show out,
right?
The ratings go down.
They do,
and ratings for this have gone down because of it.
Yeah.
They had because of the first female doctor, everything ratings were like a 10 share. Mm-hmm. Now they're closer to 5 and 6. Mm. And they're saying, well, our average episodes are doing best. Yeah, you're doing better than the past 2 seasons, but they're on par from the past others.
Yeah.
And also, here's the thing that BBC is kind of neglecting to tell others. When you have a shorter episode run, your averages tend to be higher than something with a more episode run. And that's what the commentators are pointing out.
Yeah, yeah.
But the shill sites are saying, no, the BBC says the episode ratings are up. The average ratings are up. Guess what the current...
It's all spin, isn't it?
Yeah, it's spin.
It's
the
all
episode,
spin.
Screen Rant and all that are kind of like saying, almost coming into that Last Jedi level.
Yeah.
They're not.
But they're getting there.
And guess what the Rotten Tomato rating for this season of Doctor Who is?
No idea.
30% and dropping.
Wow.
That kind of says something. Because instead of, let's go have the Doctor being a female doctor dealing with being a female for the first time, which would be understandable, and having the Doctor's arch nemesis, like the Cybermen and the Daleks, seeing a female doctor instead of a new doctor.
Right.
Oh, let's have the Doctor's nemesis help deal with racism and so forth and so on. They're not companions anymore; they're friends.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is, some people are blaming Chitnell, some people are blaming BBC, some people are blaming... It's kind of hard to know where the truth lies. It could be a combination thereof. That's me just saying that.
Yeah.
And like I said, next season, Chitnell wants to leave. Will be last season with Chitnell. Now, BBC hasn't said anything about this rumor saying Chitnell is leaving next season. They haven't said shit saying that's lies, which is coming off to some people saying that could be the truth. And people have said that if Chibnall leaves, Whittaker's going to leave after 2 seasons.
Probably.
The last person that kind of did something that left in about the same number of seasons was Chris Eccleston, who played the first season of The Doctor.
Yeah.
But he left due to various reasons. He only was there for 1 season.
Oh, okay.
But some people have pointed out that the thing with this is because the reason why Whittaker kind of wants to leave is because she's, 1, close friends with Chibnall. 2, she's gone on record saying that she wants to spend more time with her family. And one commentator, a female YouTube commentator at that, I'm going to put like this, stated that what Whittaker said is bullshit and unethical. And she said, why? Because, let me see, the guy who played Andrew Lincoln, the main person on The Walking Dead, is pretty much he left the show already.
Yeah.
After 8 years to spend more time with his family.
Yeah.
She said that she understands Andrew Lincoln doing it because he's been with the show for 8+ years. She's barely been with the show for a year to get herself started and embedded in the fan base. So your aspect of family, even though it could be a legit excuse, is pointless.
Yeah.
You're ruining that whole aspect of you being the first female thing. And you coming out like a cheerleader, kind of being the shill, is what a lot of these people are saying. It's like, you're being a shill, these sites are being a shill, stop it. It's like what I've said about a lot of the fandoms out there.
Yeah.
They like, oh yeah, I've watched, did you really watch were you part of...
But what goggles did you have on when you were watching it?
What goggles were you having on? Not so much that someone like me who's been a Doctor Who fan for years...
Well, most people that are Doctor Who fan for years would just...
I don't
would be watching the show for the show.
I don't mean since Christopher Eccleston.
Right,
I mean
no.
Since before Tom Baker.
Since had a PBS.
Hunt, we had a hunt for it. If I moved to a different location, I had to pray to the fates and whatever God that was out there, that PBS station had it.
Right.
And would air it not at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night.
2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
And I'd stay up at 2 o'clock in the morning
And
watching Doctor Who.
Yep.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. Oh no, it wasn't. Oh, I watched it on Hulu. I watched it on Amazon. I watched it on this streaming service.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Though? And this is where the geek culture that we love and care about goes off the rails. Because I liked it better then. When we had to find the shit that we loved. And the shit that we loved wasn't readily available on Hulu. And it wasn't readily available on Netflix. And it wasn't just everywhere. Am I wrong?
Right.
I'm sounding curmudgeon-y, I know. But here's where, when popular culture steps in, it ruins it. It ruins everything.
And the thing is,
our comic books, since after the 90s, after the early 2000s, ruined.
Right. And Chibnall said, well, we
TV,
fixed a lot of Moffat's errors.
Ruined.
The only thing that Chibnall seemed to fix, and I'll agree with it, is that when you watched Whittaker's performance, is that if you go previous to Capaldi's Doctor, the last 2 seasons, the Doctor seemed to have like an identity crisis.
Right.
Was he a doctor? Was he a punk rocker? Was he a teacher? Was he this? Was he that? And that was kind of like the last 2 seasons of Capaldi's Doctor.
Right.
So the only thing Chibnall fixed, he didn't fix problems. He just fixed an identity crisis.
That's what it was.
That's it. But to kind of move on.
Man, it's just depressing thinking about that because, like you're saying, like you had to stay up and watch it on PBS.
Right, and hope to God.
And just like me, like if I wanted to see, like, oh my gosh, like anything I cared about, you really had to look for it. Like you couldn't just find it. Like you know how great it was when I went to the library and like they had some graphic novels there when I was like 15.
Right.
So oh my god, they have Batman like year 1. Holy shit! Like. You just didn't get access to that kind of stuff without having to pay for it out the nose or find it somewhere. You know, so now that the geek culture, and I think it's on its way down, but because I think people are sick of superhero movies. But now that the geek culture has peaked, it's like it's brought in all these problems with it that typical normal culture has. So now you're getting what's going on with the Doctor. You're getting what's going on. This wouldn't be an issue 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
We just have a new female. We would just have a female doctor, and we'd all be like, awesome.
And the thing is, if the ratings went down, the BBC would be like, hey, man, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, they'd be like, hey, yeah, exactly. And that's the problem.
Now it's like, I'll explain this. But to kind of continue.
Sorry.
I'm going to probably talk about I'm not really going to, in this aspect, not really put a closure where we find solution. That's way when I put the episode together, I could fill in the patches of what we didn't cover today.
Yeah, true.
Which will probably be the Fallout 76 issues and the Red Dead Redemption 2 issues and what my thoughts are. But to kind of speed it up a little bit, did you see the CW's crossover aspect?
Yeah, I saw. Well, yes and no. Crystal recorded it and watched it herself, then she deleted it. So I got to see the Sunday night one. I got to see the Flash, and that was it. But I heard about what happened.
Right,
so.
and it's they did the kind of the Crisis, and next year is going to be the this was not so much the Crisis. This was the
Elseworlds,
and this next year is going to be the Crisis.
Yeah.
There were so many fucking Easter eggs. It was disgusting, including the Bane's actually from the current run.
Yeah.
So it's like that's Bane's move. They didn't really adopt the Easter egg. They were born into it.
They were born
into it. Molded by it, and included it into their programs. But sorry,
you know what never dawned on me, and you're gonna laugh at me for this. After like how many seasons of the Flash, that the guy who plays the Flash, the old Flash from the other Earth, is actually the guy who played in 1994. Yeah,
they used the
dawned on me,
and the fact that they kind of used a replica of his '90s suit in the Elseworlds. It was like callback Easter egg, but and the thing is, one thing is I noticed is like you could always tell which writing team is writing what.
Yeah,
it's like when I saw the whole aspect and when they did this whole Smallville farm and they put in the theme song when they showed it, I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. They used the whole Smallville theme song, the farm.
I know, yeah, that was great.
It's like, and all of a sudden, they had kind of Lois and Clark there, and kind of Lois. It's like when she mentions, you get paid more than me. In essence, the whole pay gap thing was like, oh yeah, the Supergirl writing team just was writing this now too.
Yeah, right.
And it was like, but when it was like strictly the Arrow and the Flash writing teams, you could tell we're just going to keep that action on par. But it was very well done. There were a lot of Easter eggs. There were a shit ton. And
what I saw, the one that I did see, was very enjoyable. I thought, like, I love the DC TV programs. Love them. Can't stand the movies, but love the DC TV programs. They get it right. They get it. They get it. They get the
Catwoman. Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, if you get a chance, she kicked ass.
Yeah.
Literally. It was on.
She's gonna have to get it up on the app for me so I can watch it.
The thing is, I said she kicked ass in that, and the major controversy behind her was that even though in the comic, Batwoman is gay.
Right.
She's a lesbian. The whole controversy in this is that the actress who plays her, even though she's also gay,
I was like,
also gay, she's not gay enough.
They're always going to find a problem, aren't they?
Right. And
this is, again,
I mean, it's like
just watch the fucking show.
She kicks ass. It's like you have something that you want, and it's not good enough.
Yeah. Just take the story for how it is.
And it's like, again, but the whole aspect of Gotham being in a hellhole. Mm-hmm. Batman, in essence, is a 4-letter curse word in the CW. Thanks to fucking Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, we have not Deadshot. Deathstroke. Awesome CW character. Oh, because now that he's in the Justice League movie, you can't use him now.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you, Warner Brothers. Fuck you.
Right.
You have in essence, a movie version of The Flash and a TV version of The Flash. You have a movie version of Superman. That is the Iron Man knockoff playing Captain Atom, excluded in this.
Yeah.
On TV as well.
But also, Warner Brothers, how well did that Flash movie work out for you?
Did it ever come to theaters yet?
No.
So it's... Oh, by the way, are you doing a Deadpool movie soon? I don't... not Deadpool. A Deathstroke movie soon?
I don't think so. I don't see any more DC movies happening with Warner Bros. Because the flop that happened with Aquaman... The only reason they sold Ticket 1 was because Jason Momoa was in and the girls are in there touching themselves. The only reason. Other than that, nobody cared. And I heard it was stupid.
And Lloyd took his missus because she wanted to go see it because of Jason Momoa.
Right.
And she saw it, and her post on Facebook was,
listen,
I liked it, but I thought it was okay.
Right. Listen, I want to have his babies, okay? I want to have his babies. But... I'm not going to go watch that stupid fucking movie. Not a chance. Not a chance. I bet it's like from what I've heard, and I'm not, I don't pay attention to review sites. I'm not one of those people. But from what I've heard from the dependable sources,
it was okay.
It's a cheese fest. It's stupid. It's just like Justice League. I've tried to watch that twice. It's horrible. How did these people sign up and actually make this movie? Like, who thought it was a good idea? Suicide Squad was better, and it wasn't that good. The only thing interesting in that is Harley Quinn.
and the thing is, the best part of Justice League was Wonder Woman's scene in it. Mm-hmm. She gets butted in the face with a rifle, and she just has to look like, to quote the meme from 2016, 2017, this is the point where Jason knew he fucked up.
Right?
This is the point where...
Well, any scene with Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman is fantastic. So every time...
she just had to look like, you're a dead man. It's like, as soon as he went, boom, and she started... This is where Thug number 5 realized he fucked up.
So, in essence, any time that the Warner Brothers said, "Hey, let's sink some more money into a DC movie for another character," they should just punch themselves in the nuts and take the money that they were going to give to that movie and go ahead and funnel it into a new Wonder Woman project. Because honestly, it's the only one that worked. It's the only one that was any damn good. All of them so far. I even liked Superman Returns or whatever the hell it was called. It was okay. It was okay, but no.
And the thing is with
Batman versus Superman,
but with Legends of Tomorrow, and they're little, even though they were excluded from Elseworlds, they kind of made a nod to it. It's like, oh, Cara Dunkins and the Flash and Barry Allen and all these people contacted you guys, and you hear one of the characters pipe up, oh, it must be time for the yearly crossover event. But that was the fun thing about that. And now that we kind of talked about DC and their fun little crossover event, let's talk about Marvel a little bit by saying how Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Daredevil have been canceled.
Bye.
But this was, from what I've been heard, a lot of the tinfoil hat theorists on YouTube and Facebook have been saying, oh, the reason why, even though these had good ratings, especially for their current seasons, is because Netflix wants to be spiteful because Disney's doing their streaming service.
Yeah.
And
they also said they wouldn't be available, didn't it?
Yeah, it's in that contract 2 years.
Yeah.
Now we'll get that in a moment. It's like now you have
why hold on? Why hold on to their successes if they're not going to be financially feasible in 2 years?
It's not just that. You have two more shows still left. Technically, that's Jessica Jones and Punisher.
But they're going to end.
And they're going to probably. That was my one comment. It's like, Punisher, the new season of Punisher comes out January 25th. My comment right underneath that was, and it's canceled. Do you know? No, that was just my joke. Was like, it's canceled.
Right.
But the thing is, it's like, it has that minimum. You can't. No other streaming service can touch it for 2 years. But here's the thing: everybody's like, "Yeah, that means in 2020, Disney could scoop up those shows." But here's the thing: those characters are tied to Defenders.
Right.
Netflix didn't really cancel Defenders.
Yeah.
Even though it was a miniseries, they didn't really cancel that.
That's true too.
So therefore, Netflix doesn't really have to cancel Defenders, and it can hold on to those properties indefinitely.
That's true.
Just for spite.
That is true.
Just for spite.
Yeah.
And granted, Netflix.
Well, it would make sense if Disney was going to incorporate those into the larger Marvel U, but they're not going to. They're not. I mean, they don't care. Like Luke Cage, what are they going to do with Daredevil? They're not going to use Daredevil.
And to kind of, I don't want to say speed things up or anything like that, but for a lighter note, one of the news things that came across my desk was a story that came across through Twitter was from Duralex.
Oh, Durex. Durex.
For those youngins out there and those who don't use them, Duralex is a
Durex
condom company. And they posted up saying that they're going to have to recall their current run or certain batches of their stuff due to burst pressure issues.
Yeah.
And I had to pause on that. Literally, I had to pause on that. It's like, why are they? It's just one of those things that it's like burst. Why the fuck are they testing burst? You have to go through the logic of why would you have to test burst pressure?
Yeah.
My logic kicked in saying, oh yeah, they have to make sure everything is the same uniform thickness throughout. That way, no holes happen while you're in a hole. All puns intended. Puns, entendres and intended. You don't want holes happening while you're in a hole.
That's true.
You don't want stuff getting in and or out depending on your perspective.
It's like when you look down at your condom after the girl says she's pregnant. You go, you had one job.
And then after that, it's like after realizing it's like, yeah, you don't want a hole to happen while things are going down.
Right.
And that understood. It's like the whole logic of it. And they have to kind of test it using air pressure. I'm like, but if you want to take it to the next level, what guy has to worry about burst pressure? Who the hell is busting a nut that freaking hard other than the Hulk and Superman,
right,
who are not fit actual people?
You're talking about a teaspoon of viscous liquid
that would have to go out.
There would have to be like 50 psi.
that would have to shut out faster than a fucking bullet.
Which would probably put a hole in her uterus.
And it's like, who would have to be,
I wouldn't even be upset. If I could do that and pop a con, I wouldn't. Damn. I think the girl would be like, you know what? I want to have those babies.
Like, I would be working where I'm at now. I'd probably be like,
on second thought, I'll have your babies.
It's like, hey, Braziers, look at what I can do. Bam, dude. Here's a dump truck full of money.
Yeah, here's a dump truck full of money. Let's make videos.
Like, who in their right mind? It's like, what? It's like, how many guys are out there? It's like, I don't want these Trojans. They're only 35 psi. I'm a good 45. But then I got to think, it's like, what company would have, if you're really that good, the only companies out there that would make anything strong enough would be like Michelin tires and Goodyear. And then I got to think, my mind just went downhill after that. This was like, I'm tired, it's Friday night, I'm in the laundromat with nobody else to talk to. I'm like, yeah, it would be Goodyear and Michelin. It's like, wait a minute. Now that I'm thinking of it, and no one else is here, let my mind go straight to the freaking gutter. What would be like their tagline? It's like, Goodyear condoms, treaded for her pleasure. Or could you see the ad? It's like, if I was an admin, it's like, or ad person, what would my, Michelin condoms. Now, good for 3,000 thrusts or 3 minutes, whichever comes first. All entendres and legally it's all entendres and double entendres.
And then you're in the store. You're like, should I get regular or all weather? It's going to be a slippery night.
Or is it going to be all terrain?
Hey, white walls.
No, went even one further. Do they have ones that still keep spinning?
Yeah, can they?
Yeah, the ones that keep spinning. The chrome based. These still keep spinning.
They do away with Magnum. And they have Bigfoot.
What are those that
monster truck size? What?
That beef jerky that is like messing with Sasquatch?
Oh, I forget. Jack Links.
Jack Links. Bigfoot. Just Bigfoot God. Comes out.
Yeah.
I rape the pillage to the small feet. I wear Bigfoot condoms. Made by Sasquatch.
Speaking of Bigfoot, did you ever mention on the podcast that you're in a movie?
No, I haven't.
You need to bring that up. It's no secret.
It right now, in essence, no secret. About, I want to say August, September of this past year.
Yeah, September, I think.
It had to be roughly...
Because we were going to do it, but a whole bunch of stuff had come up. We couldn't do it.
It had to been at least around, I don't want to say September.
I want to say September,
because
too.
I think it was either before or immediately before or after the punk rock flea market.
Right.
It was like an open call.
Yeah.
It was just like, who wants to be in a Bigfoot movie? I was like...
See, I'd known about it since probably March or April, because Matt Burns was like, hey, you want to play Bigfoot in a movie? I'm like, yeah. Okay, well, let's go film it in a year. I'll tell you when. No, I didn't hear anything for a long time.
Yeah, it was just one of those things like, you want to be in a movie? I was like, I'll send you a script. I'm like, okay. And it was just for this, like, really, I was expecting to be, like, it was like our dream to be like victim number 8 or something like that.
Right,
background motherfucker. And it was like something me and Big Kenny thought of for many years, just to have. Wouldn't it be cool to be that background character? We'll do. Screw. You pay for, give us food. we're fine. Give us food, soda.
Yeah.
We're cool.
We'll work for food.
And here's like Matt Burns and I think it's Mark
Byrne, I think
something
Byrne.
like that. It's just that like, well, you get to be about. Initially, it started to be like, in essence, that you're going to be hillbilly hobo number 5 or something. Like, okay, I'm down just as long as I'm able to get there. And all of a sudden, this is not against you. It's just a whole mess of people started to back out because of one thing or another, with no faults to anybody who had to back out. And me and Matt get there, and it was me, Matt, and one other than Mark, one other fellow. It's like, well, it's just the 3 of you right now. We initially was going to have a whole mess of other people doing goofy shit in the background, but it's just you three guys. There's three speaking roles.
Yeah.
It's just a very small part.
Right.
And Mark was like, you have to realize that this is not going to be a paying gig. I'm not worried about the fucking that. He's like, yeah, but you'll get an IMD credit. Like, really? that's almost as good as food. I think that might actually be better than food. I'm on IMDb now. Really? Cool. So it was just this. I had the script for it. It's like I wasn't really expecting much. Like I've never done. Matt's done it more times than I have.
Right.
And it's like I'm new at this. I don't even play one on TV.
Right.
So it was just. It was a fun time. It was just this. It's like you're still a hillbilly hobo. Just make sure you're not wearing like anything that is well-known trade.
It's like plain.
You know, something plain. Matt wore the shirt you got from Jordan, podcast shirt. I had the whole old T-shirt from Not Without Resistance.
Yeah.
It's a funk band now, I think it is. It's stuff that, local band, who the hell cares? It's not the Capitals. It's not, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not something like that. It's defunct.
The one that I had played, I actually have it on as an undershirt now. I don't know if you...
What is it?
It says Go Die.
Go Die. But it was just, I had ripped pants I used for either working on the lawn or something like that. Ripped pants I had pinned up. I looked like I was,
I saw it.
It's just like, well, fuck it, I don't care. I'm supposed to be dressing the part anyway. So it was a fun time.
Yeah.
It's just a few lines.
Yeah.
And the jug that you see in the movie was supposed to be moonshine, but it's pretty much water anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for it because I was thirsty some of the point. I'm not saying that Mark didn't provide us with water. It's just that at the time, it's just like
bonus.
It's just like I'm thirsty. You know what? I'm actually going to take a swig of this water.
Yeah, why not?
So it's just fun. Several takes each, and did I mess up? Yeah. My excuse I'm fucking new at this. Screw you. So the movie's called Bigfoot! Exclamation point.
Yeah.
It comes out in the end of March.
Yep.
It's going to be available on Amazon, DVD, and a few other locations as well. I can't wait to see.
You mean I'm going to have to rent you? Oh, man.
I come cheap. All entendres and puns implied.
That's what she said.
But we kind of also talked about other things. I know you say you saw it was Kurt Russell's Christmas Chronicles, which came out last year. Kurt Russell did a good job.
Did a great job.
He knows how to play an action role. He knows how to play a drama role. He knows how to do a comedy.
Yeah.
And in essence, Christmas Chronicles was kind of all that, even though it was kind of gun for kids.
Yeah.
But he fit that role so well.
Yeah, he did a good job.
And I want to say this. I'll say it flat out. I don't care what people said. He did a better Santa than Tim Allen.
Way better Santa than Tim Allen.
Just some of the puns, what you guys think I'll look at. Oh, billboards add 80 pounds.
I'm just not like a big Tim Allen fan. I never have been.
It's just how he did it. Kurt Russell just very well. And I think the only gripe I had about it was he's just being Santa. It's I know really what you missed out on getting as a kid. He's in this restaurant, he pulls out a 52 Topps mantle, and which a lot of people say, yeah, that's his rookie card. Collectors and even someone like myself knows that's not his rookie card. That's just one that's well known. It's
his first Topps card.
It's his first Topps
51
card.
Bowman is his rookie card.
Right. And it's the one that's most well known. It's the first Topps card, and it's the one that's usually worth the most.
Yeah.
And this is supposedly, they obviously use a prop, even though someone wrecking the real thing has happened in movies before. In essence, he hands the card over to a person who's well off, and he's looking at it like, oh, this is like what we would do to it, seeing a mint card that is potentially worth $1.5 million, easy $1.5 million.
Yeah,
and he sees it, he's like, oh my, he's almost coming in his pants.
Yeah,
and holding it, and the person that he's with, his date, his wife, sees the card, pulls it out, rips it in half. Even he was like, as a even casual, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Urge to deck the shit out of. I don't like to hit women, but $1.5 million asshole.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, oh my God, why?
Yeah. Hard to watch.
That's really hard to watch. But overall, it was very, very well done. Very well done. And we had also Netflix released. I didn't see Bird Box yet.
I haven't watched that yet either.
I saw I want to say Cumberbatch, but it was Bumberbatch or whatever it is. It's one of these Netflix choose your own adventure.
I need to watch that. Yeah.
Let me just say this: it's very, very meta.
Yeah.
You can choose what. He kind of becomes aware that he's being controlled.
Yeah.
But at one point he says, "Yeah, the person who's controlling me thinks they're they're controlling me, but in reality, I'm the one controlling them."
Right.
Because the story is that he's this computer programmer creating a game in 1984, creating this kind of you choose your own adventure game based on an adult version, and the book that they show is literally like 3 inches thick.
Yeah.
That's for adults. Choose your own adventure. That in essence, this movie or show's lore went insane writing this thing.
Right.
And in essence, this character is going insane doing this adaptation.
Right.
And it's so meta. It's like some people thought I'm being controlled in regards to writing this game. I'm the one controlling.
Oh.
So they kind of flip it.
Yeah.
And but it's done really, really well.
Yeah.
To the point that they kind of throw in the aspect of like at the end, it's like they're aware of that this is also going to be made into a Netflix special.
Right.
And the person that's doing it is in essence one of the characters' daughter.
Oh.
And in essence, she's kind of trying to do a readaptation of this fictional game. So it's like meta on top of meta on top of meta.
Right.
And she's realizing that she's going insane and something that in essence she is being controlled too.
Yeah.
She in essence control her scenes too.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, oh, I'm mind fucked. You know, it's like you think you're having, because at one point you can make the main character walk off a building ledge.
Yeah.
Because the scene implies that because he's talking to a well-known computer gaming programmer.
Yeah.
He's like, you're in a hole. You're stuck. It happens to the best of us. Oh, by the way, here's a joint. Smoke that. That'll help you relax.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? And a couple of seconds later, he tells the main character that you're controlling. Here, have this hit of acid.
Yeah.
It'll open up your mind to new possibilities and help you write more.
Right.
And as this character's tripping out, he's like, come with me. They're controlling you. It's like Pac-Man. You always come back. In essence, they're kind of saying, kind of being that meta level. It's like, you could do this all day. And the thing is, you have that choice to have him jump over the ledge or you jump over.
Right.
And it's like, you have that aspect of making your own character jump over the ledge.
Right. Well, see, the thing is, like, Netflix or, like, on demand or whatever you want to call it, like that whole kind of media where you have access to that kind of stuff, that's a great platform for to do this in the future with movies and stuff.
Right.
To like have different endings or like choose your own adventure kind of stuff. I think that's fantastic.
See, that's the aspect of what
it really opens up a whole bunch of stuff.
Like 10, 20 years ago, they had that whole aspect of, yeah, you have 3D movies.
Yeah.
In regards to put on glasses and they pop out. And a lot of people said a 4D movie is that you have interaction.
Right.
Meaning that you're sitting in the theater, a choice comes up, do you want A, B, C, or D? And the popular vote would go to that particular scene. Futurama kind of makes fun of that.
Yeah.
Now with Netflix, you're not watching 3D TV, you're watching 4D TV.
That's true.
Because you could choose which way.
Yeah.
And go back. Oh, sorry, you killed your character.
Right.
It's not, in essence, a game.
Right.
It's a game, but it's not a game.
Yeah.
It's 4D.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go out and pay for it, even though you're paying for the membership.
Right.
It's, in essence, too cheap to matter.
Right.
It's real meta and done really well. It's kind of dark, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's like oh, fuck, I could choose a cereal, I could choose this, I could choose that. It's weird. It's, screwed up.
It's just really nice. It's kind of cool. Like, they added a new aspect to it. Netflix has been really stepping up. I think Netflix is like, it is the current TV and it's the future of TV as well.
Two other quick things. Again, for funding, I didn't pick up a PlayStation Classic. Mm-hmm. One, funding. Two, I've been hearing a lot of bad shit about it.
Yeah.
Like almost half the games are, even though they're translated for the United States or English, everything's like out, but they're European type sets.
Oh.
Meaning that we're here in the States. We have what's called the NSTC, which is every TV or monitor for here in the States is to that standard,
right,
which is roughly 60 frames per second.
Right.
Those games are set to the PAL standard, which is a European standard at about 50 frames. So it's like more herky-jerky.
Right.
But a hacker, realizing when he hooked up his keyboard, like a Logitech keyboard to it, he was able to hack the console and go into the main settings and able to adjust those. So if you don't know about that hack, hooking up with like a Logitech keyboard,
right,
you're stuck playing herky-jerky games.
Oh, wow, that's
for almost half of them. And someone else actually looked into the code and found anywhere between an extra 10 to 30 games that were supposed to go on to that.
I heard about that.
So I was like, why am I going to be spending $100 on this that I'm barely going to touch?
Yeah.
And half the games are not going to work right on my TV.
There was a code like that with, those games where it's the little mini games.
Right.
Like they call them keychain games or whatever, but it looks like a little arcade machine. There was a hack that I saw on YouTube that had all the games are on the same circuit board. They just put a different box around it. You just have to unlock them. You have to make a switch for it. And like the guy showed, it's like a real easy thing to make the switch. And you can literally choose between like all the games that they offer for $20 in the little tiny arcade thing, all on the same. All they did was change the packaging, I guess you would say.
Now, another quick thing is that I don't know if you've ever watched them before, but I loved what they put out in the past. Epic Rap Battles has made a comeback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're back now. After about 2 years,
right?
It'll be 2 years. January this month, but they made a comeback. The reason why they kind of were gone for 2 years, is because they were suffering from burnout. Yeah. That was number one, burnout, and life was getting in the way. And the other reason why they waited so long is that they wanted the contract with their MCN to expire.
Right.
And which from what I heard, was Disney, their MCN.
Really?
Yeah. Disney kind of owned Epic Rap Battles.
Wow.
Or was in charge of it. So they wanted to wait until all that was said and done. Now they're kind of free to do what they want to do. They're back. They're energized. And they released one back in December. They kind of did a holiday brief thing on their second behind-the-scenes channel. It was that sort of, we're back. Let's see if we can get back on that momentum, and it's fun. Let's see what they have to say. If they're able to go into that. And one of the other thing is I did set like a local thing I tend to do is, as much as it doesn't seem real manly, I tend to go to the local Apollo Theater to catch a play.
Why is that not manly?
It's just that they're mostly musicals for the most part.
What? See,
and to me, I don't like doing. I think I've been there 3 times. Outside of their haunted theaters.
It's just entertainment. It doesn't make you less manly.
But the first time I went to see one of their plays, it was Monty Python's Spam-A-Lot.
Mm-hmm.
But me being a geek, you got to see Spam-A-Lot. It's their Holy Grail spoof, Monty Python's Holy Grail spoof sort of thing. And last year I saw their Scrooge, their Christmas tale or Christmas carol thing. And the thing with those two is that the Apollo Theater has a history of turning whatever they got into a musical.
Right.
No matter what it is. Let's make a musical. We got the rights to do Superman as a play. Let's make it a musical.
I'm Superman.
That's the last thing I want to see it, but I want to see something Christmassy.
Yeah.
They were doing A Christmas Story.
Oh my god.
Or at least their rendition of Christmas Story.
Oh my god.
And I was like, wow, God damn it, watch this. It's going to be a fucking musical. How are they going to... It's like, Spam-A-Lot, I understand. Because it's somewhat of a musical to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's written by the guys who actually do it.
Right.
Christmas Carol, you have Muppets, you have all these other histories that have done it well.
Yeah.
So, understandable. How the fuck do you make this a musical? That was my thought. And turns out they didn't. It was an actual...
Oh, they didn't? I'm so upset.
I'm like, part of me is upset. I have nothing to rant about.
I was looking forward to Fragile.
But the thing is, the thing about the Apollo Theater is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Legitimate. Yeah, it's like $20 to get in.
That's comparatively speaking, that's not that bad.
But when you're in almost our predicament, funds are always usually
$20 is a lot.
$20 is a lot. Compared to, I want to catch the latest, Marvel movie. I'll just walk up to Berkeley Theater and spend $5.
Right.
So, and I want to say that's it. Well, they haven't really kicked us out yet, but
they're not going to.
So
yeah, that's why I asked you. But there's nobody in back of us.
Right, and they're supposed to close up about now anyway. That's why. They said about 3 o'clock. They haven't told us to leave.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But just a quick mention, have you seen the Hellboy trailer and the MIB trailers yet?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I can't wait.
I can't wait to see at least the Hellboy.
Hellboy? Really? You don't like the MIB?
Is
it because there's the woman?
No.
It's because there's the woman, isn't it? It's what it is, and she's black.
It didn't click. It didn't say, I want to see this.
No, I love anything MIB. I love because I'm a huge fan of all the MIB movies. Just because it's like a fun throwback to me every time I watch them.
I love the Hellboy trailer.
Yeah, the Hellboy trailer was amazing.
He walks in, it's like,
who plays him in this one?
I forgot. And the person behind the counter, do you have an ID? And he's just like, really?
Really? Yeah, really? Yeah, I like that guy's take on him. I thought it was really good.
Kind of on that note, folks, stay tuned. Again, you'll probably hear Mr. Riel saying, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
But I'll talk a little bit about Red Dead Redemption and the kind of controversies that are surrounding still about Fallout 76.
Boo.
So,
West Virginia Fallout.
Yeah, West Virginia Fallout. So thank you all for listening, and
we'll be right back with more of the Long Coat Mafia podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the 2 station breaks, or the We'll Be Right Backs, that were recorded by George Spike Riel. Again, thank you, George, so much for them, and everything else you gave us for this year in reference to the new material. I can't thank you enough, but just briefly, before we get into the video game stuff that's been happening and the controversies that's been happening in regards to Red Dead Redemption and Fallout 76, just want to give 2 brief updates. I think I was mispronouncing the whole Black Mirror thing that was interactive show. I think I was mispronouncing the name.
I believe it's now pronounced Bandersnatch or Bandersnatch. So I do apologize for that. If I'm still mispronouncing, please email us at longcoatmafia@gmail.com or send us a message through Facebook. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/The Lone Coat Mafia Podcast. Now, the other update I want to get into real quick is with Doctor Who. The season ender just happened maybe about 5 days ago. I should say the New Year's Eve special, because they didn't want to do a Christmas special. Yet next year they're going to be doing a Christmas special. So, from what I've been seeing over the past couple of days, I don't know if it went up or down even more, but at last check, instead of it being 30% like we mentioned earlier in the show, it went down to 19%. So, I just wanted to give you all that little bit of tasty little info to kind of tell you how, kind of what a lot of the fans have been doing this. Yes, Rotten Tomatoes is not the best. It's loaded with bots. But, still, 19%. A lot of people then, that's the average person reviewing it, not the critics or the websites putting out their usual rhetoric. And from what I've been hearing from the viewing public at large, or the critics, in regards to the last episode of the season, even though the websites have been touting the last season, oh my god, it's so great, and many people were like, no, it's not. They didn't even. It seemed like the people who were writing Doctor Who and Chris Chibnall didn't even know what a Dalek was supposed to do, and the whole interaction with the Daleks and the Doctor, and the fact that this might be a new Dalek, it doesn't make sense at all. That's what they were saying. Have I watched the rest of the Doctor Who season? No, I won't. Probably will not ever. Again, I do not have any issues with Jodie Whittaker at all. But to continue, because we did a whole 15-20 minute rant in regards to Doctor Who and everything else, I am moving on to Fallout 76, because that's what I promised all of you. And there has been lots of issues surrounding this game over the past several months, and one of which is, I didn't know fully. I heard the controversy over the bags. Now, there is a high-end helmet that you could find in-game, and to kind of break it down for a lot of you who do not play video games, either on a desktop computer, whether it be a Mac or PC, a Windows-based machine, or a console, just to let you know that some places, mostly GameStop, sell kind of different levels of games, meaning that if you buy Fallout 76 or Red Dead Redemption or Call of Duty Black Ops, you can pre-order certain games type. They all come with the game. Now, there's the $60 version of the game. They might give you a couple extra skins, or if you pre-order, you might get a couple extra in-game bucks in-game cash. You might get an extra skin, or a better weapon, or something along that lines. And the further you go up in these pre-order tiers, you get better items. Or you might get, instead of getting, like, let's say $500 in-game, or 500 credits in-game, they might be 1,000 credits in-game. Or the DLC is included. But one of the higher end tiers, this might be the $200 tier for Fallout 76, was not only was this kind of wearable helmet that you could have and display, it was supposed to come in a canvas bag. Now, like I said, the canvas bag, it was one of these perks that people were supposed to get, and people wanted the canvas bag, which said Fallout 76 on it. Did people receive a canvas bag? Yes and no. Let me put it like this: about 95% of the public did not receive a canvas bag. They received a nylon bag, or the same type of fabric that most backpacks are made from. Is kind of like a thick nylon material. The people that did receive the canvas bag containing the helmet were kind of the gaming influencers, the high-end Twitch players, the bigger end gaming YouTubers, and those sort of people were getting these canvas bags. We'll get into influencers in a few minutes, but we're talking about, at least right now, Fallout 76. And people were pissed about this. They were pissed that, you promised us a canvas bag. You gave the influencers the canvas bag, but we wanted that canvas bag. And Bethesda said, a canvas is very expensive. Personally, like I said, this pissed off a lot of fans. A lot of fans. But the thing is, if it was expensive, instead of making it $200, make it $300. People would have probably paid for it. But no, Bethesda decided, we're only going to treat our influencers very well, which again pissed a lot of people off. Because in reference to touch on influencers a little bit, at least Twitch and YouTube influencers in regards to the gaming community, people when they watch them like, I'm getting this canvas bag. I got it, prior to all of you. Here's the canvas bag. If you pre-order this bundle, you're going to get one of these bags too. Thus, that $200 bundle is going to be sold more, and all of a sudden, they didn't get what they received, which is pretty much people thought they were lied to in regards to it. Another thing that a lot of fans purchased was a licensed product. This was not a pre-order per se. This was not a pre-order bonus, but it was a licensed product that kind of Bethesda was kind of promoting along with the games released, and that was a bottle of rum in the shape of a kind of a rocket, and it was like Nuka Dark or Nuka Cola Dark, and what it was supposed to be a bottle of rum, and again in this rocket-shaped bottle. And people thought, because of how everything looked, this was going to be a glass bottle shaped like a rocket. Now, how much did this bottle of rum cost? $80. Now, there have been some YouTubers have said that their bottle of rum cost $100. My guess in regards to price difference is roughly maybe shipping and handling and taxes in their area, thus causing it to be the $100 price. Or they could have just forgot it was $180 and they just said $100 and rounded up. But what happened was they waited, the release date came and gone, the expected date for the rum came and gone. Everybody kind of said, where's our rum, where's this bottle of rum? And the company that was producing this product, licensed product, said, oh, it's on the way, we're having some problems, don't worry, you'll get it, we'll get it in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks come and go. Still, no one received anything. And again, people emailed the company, and they said, oh, we're still it's being made, orders are being shipped out. Again, a week, 2 weeks go by. Still, nothing. It's now mid-November. Nobody's receiving diddly squat. People are asking, what the heck is going on? Well, it's on. We're putting things together. We're starting to ship things out. December 1st comes and goes. People are starting to get aggravated, and this is when that company produces and releases a video in regards to them kind of showing the process of them making, labeling the bottles and putting the bottles in the shipping boxes to be sent out to the distributor and then sent out to everybody who ordered the bottle. Come to find out in this video, when a lot of people watched it, the bottles, or I should say, the rocket-shaped bottle was not a rocket-shaped bottle. It was a holder or a case for the actual bottle. Meaning, the bottle looked like your atypical liquor bottle or wine bottle that had a label on it saying Nuka Dark Cola and the standard information and a UPC code on it. And it was put inside this plastic case that was this rocket-shaped in essence, the rocket-shaped bottle. And that was it. In essence, it was a bottle inside a case. And if you wanted to remove this bottle, you had to, in essence, when people finally received it, pry the case off to remove the bottle. Now, a lot of people would think, why would you do that to get the bottle out of this case? Well, it turns out when you tried to pour the rum out of the bottle, it made a mess. It didn't actually pour out well because the top of the bottle was flush with this rocket-shaped case made out of plastic. Well, again, people were pissed because, one, it's plastic, and everything that they showed up until the video made it seem like a glass bottle. And a lot of people who tasted the rum that claim that they know their rum said that this does not taste like $80 rum. This tastes like your average store rum that you could pay for $20, if not $30. Therefore, the $80 or $100 is pretty much, well, for the marketing, for the licensing fee. And it just was overpriced, overdone, and delayed, and nobody liked it. And personally, paying $80 or $100 and not really taking full enjoyment of it and just have a bottle of rum sitting on your shelf sealed and not be able to remove that bottle and partake in the contents if you so wished properly is a waste of money. If you think so too, please email the show and let us know what you think. Again, it's longcoatmafia@gmail.com. Not to mention, in regards to the game, when people start to play the game, but let me say this, because I think I might have mentioned, I'm skipping over the fact of the beta, because I don't remember if I told all of you out there about what happened during the beta. And when the beta dropped, there was an open section for everybody could try out the Fallout 76 beta. And a friend of the show, Meta Markey, who's been brought up to the show a couple of times, said, "Hey, it's an open beta. Here's where you could get it. Come in and join us for the beta." I downloaded the beta and I couldn't hear shit. Whether it's any of the robots in the game giving you quests, I couldn't hear anything. Recordings that were supposed to be in the game also to give you quests, I couldn't hear shit. Was there music in this game? Supposedly, but I could not hear shit. When I could hear the music or any orders, it was for 10 seconds, and that's it. But at the tail end, a day or two after me saying, you know what, I can't hear diddly squat. Mad Eye, can you hear stuff? He said, yeah. Or when I asked Mad Eye in reference to could he hear the music and the orders, he said, yeah, I could hear everything just fine in game. Come to find out, after I stopped playing the beta and the beta was closed to everybody, they gave an update to the beta. Now, granted, I don't know if the beta was still continuing for those who pre-ordered, but for those as an open beta, sorry, no can do. But when the game finally released, it turns out that most of the people that were on the gaming servers were few and far between, meaning that at most there are 15 people on a server, at most, depending on who you talk to. To give a comparison, even though I'm not a fan of Destiny, and I tried and eventually did not like Destiny 2, there are more people on their servers that you can find right now probably than you could have found, or at that point you could have probably found more people on a Destiny 2 server than you could have found at a Fallout 76 server. Not to mention a lot of people who were playing the game on high-end PCs, not just consoles, high-end PCs, were noticing that the graphics were blurred in spots and not crisp and clean like they were promised. Not to mention if you were on the server with a bunch of other people and 3 people let loose nukes in the game, you crashed the server. Or if you did certain other actions in the game, you could accidentally crash the server. Some people might have reported game crashes. not to mention there were other bugs, like loads and loads and loads of bugs. One person reported the fact that you could, if you went to player versus player and you had a high-end game, you were just knocking one hit point after another from that player. So it was like that player was totally invulnerable, and you were just tossing sticks at him. But not to mention there was like other people were complaining that there was a lack of playable characters in game. It was just mostly robots. Supposedly there was a class action lawsuit in regards to not just the canvas bag issue, but the overall problems and bugs and what was not promised in the game. And a lot of people have said that it felt like the early days of No Man's Sky, that there was a lot promised and none of it was delivered. So that was part of the class action lawsuit. I don't know. I haven't heard anything more about it. There have been patches for the game. Now, some people, from what I've heard, the game itself is about 75 to 80 gigs big for the game. Just the game itself. And the patches are just as big, meaning there'd be a new patch update that's 75 to 80 gigs big. That's in essence they're deleting the game and giving you a fresh game just to fix things. And some people have still said the patches fix some errors and give others. So I still don't know what's going on. If you're playing this game still and whatever, if you're still having errors or not, or that you find out they've fixed everything, please let us know by emailing us at longcoatmafia@gmail.com or messaging us on Facebook or on Twitter, which our Twitter handle is longcoatmafia. Please do so. We'll be happy to respond and include you in part of the show. To kind of move on to Red Dead Redemption 2, I must say this is a beautiful game. From what I've played so far, I've been busy this holiday season to actually play it, or play it fully. I have to play it now more because more and more of my friends on Xbox Live have been playing it. So I must say, it's a beautiful game. It's a wonderful game. It's been presented beautifully. I've heard rumors to the fact that the original Red Dead Redemption is going to be a DLC for this game, meaning that, in essence, Red Dead, for those who haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet, it's a prequel to Red Dead Redemption. Even though it's a sequel, it's a prequel. So, having the rumored original Red Dead Redemption using 2's engine, it will be awesome. I can't wait. If that rumor is true, I will probably find the $10, $15 to spend on the DLC if that's true. But the big controversy from Red Dead Redemption 2, the sequel, has been the online beta. And a lot of you are like, what's wrong with the online beta? It plays like a full game. It does, and you're right. For those of you who haven't played it yet, the beta does feel like a brand new separate section of the game that you could play with friends or other people online. But what the problem is, or was the economy. Now, the economy in this game at one point was the fact that it relied heavy on the gold bar system. And the gold bar system was that you could buy these gold, even though you can make gold bars by getting 20 gold nuggets, but you could also buy the gold bars with real life cash. And one of the issues that many people had was that in order to get to a certain part or pass a certain part of the game, if you were, let's say, a level 28 honor, not your character being a certain level at level 20, but your character had a level 28 honor, you'd approach the section up. In order to be at this section, you need to be level 30. But in essence, thanks to you wanting to be a little bit of an asshole in game, you're now level 28 or lower. But if you want to be a level 30, you just spend 15, 20 gold bars, and you could be a level 30. thus having to give up real-life cash for to move ahead in the online system. Other people have stated that or shown that when you go to buy a better gun at one of the shops, you can either spend like $1,500 or 100 gold bars, and to make things quicker, because in game you would only earn maybe $2 or $3, or 15 when looting bodies, 15 cents. So a lot of people took up in arms with this, and what folks, again, this is just a beta, and the folks who put out this decided, you know what, let's fix the economy, let's increase the amount of stuff you can loot from cash you can loot from bodies, and when you do missions you get more cash. And one of the things that they did was, prior to this update, one person stated that you can easily earn more cash if you hunt more and get better, hunt more or better animals, or healthier animals, or animals that had better pelts, and so forth and so on, for the funds quicker. And when it came to the nuggets, a lot of people who were trying to either mine the nuggets or go to areas that gave out the nuggets as a reward. They are finding that people were just hitting up these areas so much that they weren't getting anything. So again, what the makers of the game decided to do was come out and say, okay, we put a patch in it, we're making things easier to earn nuggets and so forth and so on, and get better cash. But for those of you who played the game prior to December 6th, you'll be receiving a $250 credit in game and 15 gold bars. Let me just say that as a player on my personal account on Xbox Live, I did try the online prior to December 6th to check it out and get started. And when I heard about this patch, when I went back in, I noticed the $250 credit. But when it came to the gold bars, I couldn't tell couldn't remember if I started with 15 and there was another 15 on top of that, or where it was as part of it, because when you look at the screen, it shows you, in essence, a dollar amount in gold and a dollar amount in cash. And my dollar amount in gold is $30 and a nickel, and my cash is $255 and change. And I just remember seeing the font, I already had like $5 and change, so I'm like, all right, I got the $250 cash, but does that in essence that $30, because there's a dollar sign, is that $30 in gold and a nickel in gold aspect of what I started with, or what they gave me? So, or is that represent of 15 gold bars? So if you guys and gals out there listening know, please again email the show at longcoatmafia@gmail.com, or leave comments wherever you're listening and let me know. And that's about it. And hopefully I'll get to streaming and playing more of this game personally. So to kind of move things along. We did have, in a way, someone email and contact the show for a question. This was off show. I thought it was a good enough topic to include as part of the show. And that was a little bit of a message from, I want to say, friend of the show. He's given a lot of stuff to the show. You heard us give us a lot of great stuff to use for the show, and that is George Spike Riel. He messaged me a few days ago asking about if I knew anything about Instagram influencers, meaning just like how, again, we talked about YouTubers being influencers and Twitch streamers being influencers. Yes, there are Instagram influencers. I had to flat out tell him I honestly don't know. And I might know a little bit more about YouTuber influencers, more so than I do about Instagram influencers, because my ears been down to the ground closer to YouTube than Instagram. But from what I gather from a lot of folks who talk about Instagram influencers, it's mostly those that have, on the low end, 30,000 followers on up, if not more. I guess the more the better. But it's kind of hard to say. I don't want to speak too ill because I don't know the full story. I can't narrow things down a little bit. But a lot of the stories I hear about Instagram influencers are mostly about female influencers. This stems by a controversy that came out, I think, earlier last year or late the year before, 2017, early 2018. Please, I'm not using that in any way, shape, or form as sort of thing. It's just what I heard. But let me just say, it's kind of hard to say. Most of the people that, when they talk about Instagram influencers, are people that might have closer to 100,000, if not a few million followers on Instagram. I did state to him that at least with hashtags, it's Instagram is a little bit finicky because I could put up something, let's say, that's Christmassy and has Santa Claus in it. And there goes the train. If you folks at home can hear it. But if I could post something up Christmassy that has Santa Claus in it, my hashtags are usually Christmas, Santa, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Holidays. And I could get 30 likes. And a friend of mine could do something, make a piece of artwork that has Santa in it, put up the same hashtags and get no likes or very few likes. So two different photos, two different things. One gets 5 likes, the other one gets 30. Instagram is finicky. I can't honestly say what it takes to be an Instagram influencer. I might add that some YouTubers can be considered Instagram influencers because they tend to have a lot of following on Instagram as well, especially since, let's say, a advertiser like Coca-Cola might approach a Instagram influencer that's also a major YouTuber like Logan Paul or Mo Sargi or Omar Gosh, because therefore they have an even larger way to get their advertisement out there. Like, hey Omar, hey Mo, hey Logan, here's a can of Coke. We'll give you an extra. We'll give you $15,000-$20,000 if you constantly drink a can of Coke or have a can of Coke in your pictures, holding a can of Coke. Make sure the label's in front. If they say yes, then they're an Instagram influencer. So it's kind of hard to say where that line is drawn and what it takes to be an Instagram influencer. The same thing goes with YouTube. And to kind of move into that, one of the things I'm going to say about this is I hoped and prayed upon the fates and the elder gods and the heavens that there was going to be no YouTube controversy at the start of the year like there was in the start of 2018. And sure as hell there was. Come to find out, two larger YouTubers. One was Logan Paul. The other was a YouTuber that goes by the name Rice Gum. They were caught in this aspect of a online loot box type of deal. They were sponsored. Their channels were sponsored by this website. I'm not going to mention names of this site, not because I forgot their name, but I don't want to. Even if I did remember their name, I do not. I repeat, I do not want to mention their name. But they were called out because they kind of advertised this website to their audience, and both channels, their audience is mostly young kids. Now, this website does a lot of virtual loot boxings. Now, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, back in 2016, maybe 2017, there was this whole big deal about CS:GO, Counter-Strike Online, I think it is, whatever it is. CS:GO, there was many like two YouTubers that were kind of pushing the CS:GO site, which you were able to open up loot boxes for the game and sell the contents of that game for real. In essence, get real life cash out of it, and trade it and so forth and so on. And that controversy turned out they were runners of this website, or each running their own website that did this type of service. Now, in regards to this site, it was their tiers were like a $5 tier, $10 tier, $15, $20, all the way up to tiers that were several $1,000s, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Now, the higher end tiers, what could you win on some of the $60 and $100 tiers? Well, those tiers you could win $250 Nike Air Jordans. You could win a Galaxy S9, or you could win a iPhone 10, like stuff like that. Like an iPhone 10 is like what, $1,000 at least. The higher tiers, you could, like the $1,000, and I think there might be a $10,000 tier. You were able to win up to. Now this is the higher tiers that you could buy for several $1,000s. What you could win was a bunch of Lamborghinis, one of which was valued up to $2.5 million. That's right. You could win a Lamborghini that was worth $2.5 million, or a home worth. Now this is where it gets a little. I've heard two different prices. I've heard worth anywhere between $2.5 million to $250 million. That's right. You could win a home that was worth up to $250 million, or $2.5 million home. Now, here, this is where it gets a little even worse. People who won a lot of these things, a lot of these products, have said they never received it, or they received a knockoff, meaning they'd win the $250 Nikes, the $250 Air Jordan Nikes, and they'd get Adidas, a pair of Adidas or something like that, or Walmart brand sneaker or something like that. And in regards to the house, it turns out they never even owned the home. They just would say, "Hey, you won the ability to buy this home. You'd win the amount of that home, and we'd help you buy it and walk you through buying that home. Or you could just keep the money." And when it came to the Lamborghinis, it was the same deal. They would tell you, "Hey, this is the car. We'll help you buy the car. We'll send somebody out to help buy it." And it just turns out it was like a big scam. The YouTuber Rice Scum kind of went full tilt snitch in regards to this by saying, "Hey, these other YouTubers did it too a few months ago, and you didn't go after them." The thing is, granted, once I guess they found out, they pulled their those videos with those advertisements, or cut those advertisements out, from what I heard, and it was just a one and done deal. And the reason why a lot of people went after Logan Paul and Ricegum is because they have the larger audience that is under 18. I should say between, probably younger than 15. In regards to that, it's just sad. It's pathetic. If I know more in regards to this happening, if it's another better help type deal that it goes even worse, I'll keep all of you informed. Now, I have 2 reviews I want to get through and tell all of you about. One of which is Venom. And Venom kind of felt like Spawn, the original Spawn movie when it came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's what it feels like. It feels like Spawn. It felt like Spawn. Meaning, yeah, it was good, it was okay, just that Well, it just felt lacking. Like it felt short. Like they were just not trying hard enough. Even though it was a good movie, it did well overall in the box office, and I think it made its money back and then some. It was touted, hey, we made bunch of money without making reference to Spider-Man or anything like that, and it was just its own standalone movie, and we won't because it made all mess money, there's no way Marvel's getting this property back ever, because it made too much money. But it was okay. I found it to be entertaining and fun. Will I watch it again? Yes, I will. Yes, I probably will. I'll probably watch it a couple more times too. The other movie I want to talk about is Bird Box. Yes, I've seen Bird Box, not by choice, because I wanted to bring all of you a review and talk about this movie. Did I enjoy Bird Box? Not really. I found it at times boring. As a friend of mine on Facebook, on my personal Facebook account, said it felt like The Happening. I'm going to have to agree with her. It did feel like The Happening because it had a lot of the same qualities, but so I'm not saying she's wrong. It did feel like that. So, but what I am going to say is that overall it was a better movie than The Happening. Just that there were a lot of things that frustrated me. Like Sandra Bullock's character named that, in essence, you see in a lot of the promos and a lot of the photos that she's blindfolded with two kids. Guess what the two kids' names are? Girl and boy. That's it. That's their names. In essence, throughout the movie, you see, yes, spoilers, and more spoilers. So, basically, a lot of the backstory is told through flashbacks, because if it started with them just going down this river blindfolded, I would have been even more pissed off. But the flashbacks tell the story of what happens and led up to that point. And it turns out at the start, or before everything happened, Sandra Bullock that particular character was pregnant. And at one point, another character gets introduced to explain the second child of the same age, and they both go into labor at the same time, at the worst possible moment in the movie, because there's something happening there. I'm not going to go into. If you want to watch it, you're going to have to watch it yourself. There are going to be things that I spoil and some things I don't. Again, you find out because she never really says the names of the kids. It takes her the whole damn movie, with the exception of the last 3 minutes of the damn film, to give these kids proper names. But for the whole movie, she calls the little girl, and the little boy. Now, despite the fact that for the past, because there's a 5-year jump in it, she was, in essence, these two kids' mom. Not once do these two kids call her mom. They call her by her character's name. Oh, how frustrating. Now, let me just state this. Venom, I'll give an easy 7, a loose 7. It might be a little bit higher with Friends, but this movie gets an easy 6. Maybe 6.5 with Friends, but it just was frustrating. Granted, you don't see any of the things that cause the hallucinations or anything like that. There were reports and deleted scenes that you do see parts of what is causing these hallucinations or the creatures that are causing it. But what else has pissed me off was mostly what happens towards the end of the movie, and that is there's one part. Now, she tells the kids, if anything happens to me, think about yourselves. Think about yourselves. That's what I want you to do. Don't worry about me. Think about something. If you can, in essence, confirm that I'm dead or something actually happens to me, go. Continue on to the end goal. Now, she falls down an embankment because she's blindfolded, and that in essence, it knocks her out, but it gives the illusion that she dies, and the kids kind of wander off just wander in two separate directions. They don't hold hands and go to the end goal. They wander off, and it gives the aspect of that they are lured by these entities that cause these hallucinations, and they take off their blindfolds. Now, side note, they laid the foundations that if you see these creatures, the best way you could identify somebody who has seen these creatures that manage not to commit suicide or harm themselves is that you could tell by their eyes, that their eyes change. They get bloodshot, their pupils turn a little bit different, but that's the main reason. And it'll come clear in a moment. And you'd figure, okay, they're setting this up, the kids are going to go nuts, and they're going to, so forth and so on. But they kind of how they set it up is almost really weird, because they kind of make it seem like, okay, they're going to be the ones that are dismissed and sent book, because here she is, regaining consciousness, she was just knocked out, she's going to be the one that survives, instead of the kids. Fine, dandy. But it turns out that she kind of convinces the kids, don't look, don't take out the blindfolds, and she finds the kids, and she finally gets to the location that they're gunning for. Yes, it is what you turns out what you think it might be, and how in reference to how those majority of those folks at that location have survived and why they're taking in refugees. It is what you might think it is. I'm not going to give that spoiler away, but I will say this: the ending seemed like it was changed, meaning they made it seem like that how the ending was like the kids were supposed to be infected or changed because they seen one of the beasts, because they checked the eyes at the end. The reason why I say that is the reason why they changed it to a more positive ending is because if the original ending, if there was one, it felt like they were going that way, that the kids would be infected or die. And I say infected, or I should say changed, but it's just them saying, they could have had a test screening with the original ending, and it turned out that they didn't really like that ending, the folks that they tested with, and they just refilmed it with a better ending, and that's how it feels. It just feels tacked on. That being said, it's not like, I forgot what it was. I saw a movie with Lloyd while hanging with him, and it was a more recent movie, and it felt like the ending was more open, and it felt like a Fight Club, and it had the air of a Fight Club, and it had the movie Fight Club, and it had the air of Vanilla Sky, because that's how they misdirected you, and that's how it felt, and it was done in a good way, and it was that movie was kind of a boring movie, but it had good elements to it that, hey, you could discuss both ways, and it had that Fight Club element to it, and it had that Vanilla Sky element, because the evidence that they gave went both ways. This, on the other hand, just for Bird Box, you know what? If you want to watch it, watch it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to make you. But there is a chance I will be watching it again. Why? Because, simply speaking, on Netflix, it has, ironically, a audio description of the movie, which, if you haven't heard if you don't have Netflix, if you haven't found a movie with audio description, it's a train wreck that you have to hear as well as you watch. So please, that's why I want to watch this movie again, because it has audio description. I want to hear it, or say I want to watch it with the audio description, because I want to hear the person kind of narrating this movie, saying the kids go into the boat, they put on their blindfold, they are doing this, someone sees something frightening. So I want to hear that. I want to see how big of a train wreck that is. And once I do, I'll give all of you another review with the audio description. So that being said, I'm going to kind of end it here by saying that please stay tuned to after the kind of official goodbye, ending that we have, like the thank you for listening, because there will be an Easter egg from another little Easter egg from way back in the beginning of our show that we did. It's a little bit of a show drop, and it's because I am now streaming on Mixer.com. So that being said, I'm going to end the show here. As always, you can find us on Apple, if you're mobile, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, the Stitcher Radio app, the Spotify app, and the Podbean app. Now, I personally recommend the Podbean app because just in case Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, or Stitcher or Spotify go belly up, you have a way to listen to our show, and plus you can listen to all the way back to the beginning of our show and hear how bad we were back then, plus our past panels that we had back then as well. If you're more of a desktop or laptop type person, yes, we are on Spotify and Stitcher Radio as well, so you can listen to us through that way. And we are on iTunes if you wish to listen to us through iTunes. And as well as we do have our website, which is thelongcoatmafia.podbean.com. Now, our website has all our episodes available for you to download and listen to on your favorite music player, whatever it might be, or you could stream using that website. And plus, the website has links to all our social media, and as well as some of our blog posts that we put up. I have to add our YouTube page to our main site, so I have to work on that soon. Speaking of our YouTube page, we don't have an official like youtube.com/ and our show name, but we do. You have to search for our channel. I do recommend subscribing to us because we will have and start putting exclusive videos on our YouTube channel. We have some that are ready that just have to be edited and dropped on YouTube. Now, there'll be times that I put up stuff that's on our Facebook page, and there will be Facebook exclusives as well. So I do recommend subscribing to our videos, our YouTube channel. Our link will be in our description, which will be available at our website, but and our Facebook page is facebook.com The Long Coat Mafia Podcast. I should say facebook.com / The Long Coat Mafia Podcast. Our Twitter handle is Long Coat Mafia. Our Instagram handle is Long Coat Mafia. So follow and click those follow buttons there for us, and we're more interactive on Twitter at times than on Facebook. So there's that. And as always, I should also, because I mentioned it, we're starting to stream on Mixer.com. You could just follow us. I do recommend using the website instead of the app, because the app has quit on me so many times when I tried using it. So either way, our Mixer channel is Mixer.com /LCMP. And those letters are capitalized. So you can just search for us, or follow us on Twitter, and you'll be notified when we are online. And you can just click that link, and it'll send you to our channel. So that's that. Oh, what else can I say? I'll probably be linking not only our Mixer.com stuff below, but our gamer tag if you want to follow us on Xbox Live. Plus, again, there's going to be that little bit of an Easter egg at the end. So take care. I'll catch all of you out there next week, and stay tuned. Expect great things to come, or at least wonderful things to come. It's a brand new year, and who knows what's going to happen. Take care, folks.
See you next time on the Long Coat Mafia.
I'm a gamer. I'm wearing a bikini.